Carlos is looking to hide in the basement of the Wizards College, and Khutula is in jail, sad face.
Horny jail.
Khutula is in horny jail.
Why is there no heavy?
Too horny for Lappet.
What?
No, I got a new fucking all-in-one water cooler for my CPU because my old one's warped.
Is it peeing itself because it's infirm?
I gave up on life.
Gave up. Oof. We're just gonna go from the top of the list that I have written down here. Vinshenzo, Isaac, and Anton. You guys are invisible in front of the college. What do?
Alright, so last thing I also recall, unless something has changed, Isaac just got done calling Godric.
No.
Oh, you changed your mind?
I think there was a gigantic, attempt at pausing to figure out what the hell you guys were gonna do next before you were
Okay.
on. That's what I remember we leaving at, is nobody had made a decision yet.
Alright.
Vinshenzo stopped me.
Okay, alright.
Okay. This is what happened.
Nephis, I'm gonna be calling on you next, just so that you can be ready. You're gonna be the next up after Anton. And
This is what happened. I will recap everyone since I have a perfect mind.
Thank you, Vin.
I had made it out of the college, dodging suspicion from someone who met me in the lobby. Eventually, Nephis, Anton, and Isaac arrived to assist, called for my earring of message, and I looked to Anton and said, "Hey, okay, are we doing this?" And Anton was kind of like, "Yeah, I got you, nigga. I'm right here with you, nigga. I'm an OG nigga."
oh, the stream! Oh!
And then I opened the wall and I did a variety of things. I told Isaac to hold off since I had a plan to get through them without necessarily making a huge scene. Half of that was kind of thwarted by their ability to counter magical spells and so forth. Nephis wandered off, and Anton is currently trying to solve things diplomatically.
I would like to, yes.
Okay, that's where we are. You are currently invisible.
God.
Anton, the invisible diplomat.
Yeah, they're gonna be diplomatic. God damn it. Man. We might as well just go in, man. Unless you change your mind, let's just go in.
What do you mean if I change my mind? You're the one who changed your mind. Okay, I
You
don't...
realize that by doing this, he's not such a good guy anymore, therefore he can't be the White Knight that Khutula means.
Damn.
Oh, hold the fuck up.
First off,
I'm waiting
Anton
for,
can be whatever Khutula needs.
I'm waiting for Anton
Yes.
or Isaac to do something.
I can be your angle, I can be your devil.
My plan has completely gone out the window, both in part of how well the wizards are at countering spells, apparently, and also Anton having a sudden change of tactic as soon as the wall opened.
The tank of the party wants to be friends.
Look, if they're not gonna do that, I'm gonna bust a hole through this fucking wall as best I can.
The wall is already open. I opened the wall.
Alright. Okay, cool.
I dispelled the magical darkness. I made you and Isaac and myself invisible. The wizard looked at me.
Yeah, which means they can probably see us despite our invisibility.
And
So...
yeah, that's where we are. So it's up to you, Mr. Anton.
I'm gonna walk the fuck in there. Sword is currently sheathed, but I do not
Well, okay. The second you do that, you are gonna get met with, a lot of standoffishness. Weapons are drawn, and you are told before you even get close to the entrance. You're about 30 feet away. One of the guards, if you recall, there are 4 at the door. One of the guards tells you to stop.
Alright, in that case I hold a moment. Any other action than that?
I stay where I am.
They tell you to stop. They are brandishing weapons.
I won't brandish my weapon yet. Alright, so how far are these guys? I'm sorry, I have, like, no basis to actually see where the fuck everything is as far as, like, orientation here.
Yeah, I know. Got busier than I expected, and I said I was
It happens,
gonna make a map.
it happens,
Okay,
it's
I'm
fine.
gonna make... So, imagine if you draw it, though,
Imagine, if you will.
in the color white.
Imagine, if you will, this is all a dream.
Because I just have a feeling that if this goes...
Devon, can I get another one of these?
Board?
Thing that I can draw on? I need a doodle pad.
Sure.
Thanks, I appreciate you. Contributions to this campaign are not underappreciated.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow, trying to be a supportive.
Nephis woke up and chose violence.
I contribute to this campaign by being a plot device.
Here's this. Adequate?
Yeah.
Here, I'll get rid of my notes from last time.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I guess I can't. I don't know.
Toggle.
Oh, there.
I'll
I
help.
got one.
Okay, for the purposes of this, the doors.
What'd you do?
He accidentally used permanent marker.
You son of a bitch.
I can't.
It's
Motherfucker.
on the fucking. It's on the
Great.
wood, I think. So it's like underneath this.
I can't believe you guys would do this.
Pause.
I refuse to accept responsibility for
I
this.
have done everything perfectly. Okay, whatever. I guess it's just there. Hey, I guess we get to live with it.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think it's on the wood.
What?
How did you do
It
this?
hasn't been changed.
This wood that you put down, and the table is blocking the eraser, but the wood is holding the marker.
Nah. I don't fucking buy that. Here, I'll find it. Oh yeah, it is. You're right.
I've done everything perfectly.
Except you wrote on the wrong surface.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. Devon set up
Maybe.
the freaking table.
You fucked it up though.
Okay, well, anyway.
Anyway.
Vin turns around and starts walking away.
Okay.
he would like to send
You're not getting
a
anywhere close to that. That is the front door. Sorry, that's for Anton.
Okay.
He would like to send a message with his earring. I believe this is my second to last charge with that.
Just for my understanding, so you not only have the earring, but you have your own personal reservoir of sending, right?
Yes.
You have your own spell slots, or have you used them?
I have used these spell slots. I've used 2 level 2 spells and 1 level 4. I should have
Oh
just...
wow, that's cool.
I should have just... I should just ignore fucking Anton at all times. This fucking guy.
Hi. I love you too. I'm always on the back of your mind, Vin.
Yeah, you're always on the back of my ass, too. I'll tell Mike later what I should have done.
Okay.
Is this Chris? That rocks. Who is that?
That's Chris.
Chris, if he could grow hair.
Once upon a time, I had hair. Not anymore. I just tried putting some dudes down, but then I was showing it. Oh, there they go. Okay, so there's one there. There's one there.
Do I send my message to Carlos, or does it fail because he's out of range?
I believe last time you tried sending a message to Carlos, it worked. So
Yes.
because of that, I'm going to continue that, because Carlos hasn't had a chance to move yet. So,
Actually, well, I guess I've already... Never mind. I was gonna change my mind and send it to Khutula.
No, what
but
would you
I've
like to do?
I've already committed.
it's okay if you want to change your mind. You haven't sent the message yet, so I'm fairly certain you can, like...
Yeah, but if you say, like, oh,
Change
the message to Khutula fails, like, then I would send to Carlos. I've already meted. I can't meta.
Stop. Okay. Well,
I must
I
commit.
respect that. Excuse me.
I
you
send
are-
to Carlos, I send to Carlos.
Don't know.
We cannot get through. We will come for you. I will stick to the plan.
I'm still free for now. Trying to shake pursuit. Plan to double back and free Khutula. She's stuck in a jail cell.
Shit.
Yeah. Shit.
You. This is not going by combat, so if you're waiting for me, they're not do it as long as Knight stays where he is. Nobody's going out to get him.
Okay.
One step forward.
Isaac, I'm assuming you're walking off too, or no? You don't have to stay, man.
Did Vin walk off?
I walked off, but I'm invisible, so maybe you don't know that. But you'll find out when you turn
Oh yeah,
invisible
can we
later.
see each other? Yeah, can invisible creatures see other invisible creatures?
No.
I
No.
don't believe so.
They could probably hear
Nobody
me,
knows
though.
he's locked off.
You'll
Nobody
find-
knows he's
Hear me, yeah.
You'll find out when you turn
I have no idea
invisible
where Anton is either.
when I'm
Yeah,
out of
you
range.
probably do. You probably know where I'm at, because my armor. It's heavy armor.
Clank, clank, clank.
Yeah, like, you can probably hear the splint armor.
I have a question. Did we recognize that wizard? Was that a guy I was talking to earlier or something?
I believe so, yes.
Barely.
I only have 3 people up in this part of the floor, and you've met 1. So we'll say it's him. Yeah. I will point out, just for the sake of your awareness, you'll notice that his model is there, but if you check in my combat order, he's not part of the combat order. That is not a mistake.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna peace out and then head back to the inn.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't reckon my chances of going through this.
That's fine.
You have Gotrek.
Yeah, but we can probably wait until things have calmed down a little here, and then I can send him in sneakily. After all, he can literally poof into existence.
Okay, so I'm seeing, what is it, 5 guards in full plate? And there's 2 mages? Is that what I'm seeing?
There are 4 cavaliers, which are your like they're the elite fighters of the kingdom. So they're in full plate. They're not. This model has a shield. They don't have shields. They have long swords.
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine
And in
they're
the back,
probably...
cavalier captain is the same, but he has a plumed helmet, which denotes him, and he also has, like, his armor is a little bit prettier. Some battle honors and stuff on his chest plate. Yeah, he's back. No, that's just a regular cavalier. There's a 5th cavalier back here, and then the captain is this guy in black, because it was the first model, and my little magic sack wasn't behaving because I have bad. And then this is the mage. As I said, he's not part of the combat order, but he happened to be up there talking to the captain when the disturbance arose.
Okay. I'm
Or
probably...
whatever happened. Like,
I'm probably still invisible right now, but they probably can see me.
oh yeah, straight up they saw you.
Yeah, I figured. And it's not exactly hard to
Unidentified.
No need for violence. This is all a misunderstanding. I try to call out to the cavaliers here. There needs to be no blood.
They're not responding to you.
All right. I want to look at the wizard and kind of get an insight check. I want to see if he's just kind of scowling at me, just kind of curious as to what's going on. I don't know if I can tell from here.
No.
Ooh. 17 for an insight check.
That's a solid roll.
17. What are you trying to find out about him?
I'm just trying to see if I can tell if he's just more curious, if he's just angry, what's his expressions kind of like.
He's
just
in conversation with the cavalier captain, and he's looking in your direction. The conversation appears to be restrained. These guys are obviously professionals, and this is a heightened moment with anxiety, but they're keeping it under control. Maintaining a low tone of voice, and they're speaking. You can definitely tell that they're alert and ready for anything. This is like essentially a security breach situation, so they know what their jobs are. This guy is here. He's just talking to the captain, and he's keeping his eye on the threat, which is right now you. And
Okay.
You can definitely tell that He's paying attention to you, but he's not
I'm
ready to
hoping-
fight or anything.
I'm hoping that the sword being in the scabbard is at least. I mean, I know that I'm a guy in splint armor and have weapons all over him, but I'm hoping that it at least kind of makes it less tense, I hope. We'll see.
You hope.
This again is a misunderstanding. There are some people that I would like to retrieve peacefully if possible.
You get no response.
God damn it. Of course they're not going to give a fucking response. Well? Nothing?
Does Anton say well?
You were
Yeah.
like the only interaction they gave back to you was to tell you to stop at a certain distance, and then they've just been watching you the whole time. You've been like chatting, and they're just watching you. These guys, like, they're not watching specifically. They're not always watching you every single time. Like, they appear to be looking. Like, it almost seems like you're a distraction. In terms of, like, they're looking for other threats. Like, okay, what's he trying to hide? Where's the other guys that he's working with? They're looking for the danger. They're looking for the threat. They're not taking anything you say at anything other than you're making this. That's all they appear to be registering you as, just you're making this.
Yeah, the fact I'm invisible doesn't fucking help. Okay.
That would go away
Yeah,
as soon
they
as I
effectively,
get,
like, they have you sighted under thermals.
Yeah, figures.
That would go away as soon as I think I got 60 feet from you.
Okay.
Which, let me verify.
Yeah, could
Okay,
you
well
verify,
then-
please?
Quite.
I'm gonna laugh if the mask fucks everything over.
Oh yeah, that makes things even worse. Holy shit, you're fucked.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that for a second. Thanks for reminding me. Wow, so much other stuff was going on.
Oh, no.
You are
Thanks,
invisible
buddy.
for an hour. You just get that.
Okay. Well,
Hell
they
yeah.
may or may not see it then.
You're under.
As long as you
thermals.
concentrate
That's
on
the-
the spell,
That's the most
spell runs.
appropriate way I can expect.
I'm
to an hour.
concentrating on it for my own for my own needs.
I can assure you that I am alone. And there is no need for violence. And that we can handle these things peacefully. Please put away your weapons. Can I roll a persuasion check?
No.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
And the reason, because I denied rolls in the past, and I'm going to give an explanation, and the reason being is specifically because of the level of tension and the fact that they're refusing to interact with you is why I'm not going to allow you to roll a persuasion check, because they're pointedly ignoring you and not treating your words as words. It's not a meaningful enough interaction for me to feel that a persuasion is possible. You're not trying to sway their thinking or anything. They're literally just, they're fucking stonewall. So
Son of a bitch.
I don't
All right.
know if that's a problem or not, but that's my justification for doing.
I'm honestly conflicted as
But-
to what to do because this is going to end either two
The
ways.
longer you wait, eventually the discussion between the captain and the wizard finishes, and the captain presents all of his attention to you, sort of at a gesture. The wizard specifically points at a spot, and the captain calls out, "Disperse!"
God damn it, because in my head right now, there's two ways this is going to go. Anton's probably going to get killed, or he's going to walk away and the other two could get killed. And I swear to God, if the other two get killed, I'm going to kill everybody in this college.
Oh.
Okay, well, as you're going through that inner monologue, the captain repeats, "Disperse now!" And then he adds in, "Or you will be arrested!"
Oh.
Very well then. I'm so pissed at myself. I'm fucking walking away. It's probably just smarter to do this.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's no need for blood. Like, there is no peaceful resolution right now. And the only thing that'll make it worse is if I start causing more trouble. I really am hoping for a miracle right now. Okay, I go and join the others. God damn it.
I'm the
Okay,
only one
you
who ever
walked away.
praised anyone in this fucking party.
I am living
All right,
now.
Nephis. As I said, you are the next one up on the list. You are now you're now on your way back to the inn. Is there anything specific you're looking forward to or expecting to do on your way to the inn, or when you?
Nephis would be looking for a liquor store.
Oh,
A liquor store. Well, so you're aware first off of the fact that the inn itself does sell. Not only does it provide you with beverage, but it will sell some of its stock. You're aware of this
Oh.
because it is a fairly
Then yeah,
common
just head to
place
the inn.
specific to this building. But you're also aware that there are breweries. There are 2 breweries in this town. They are well advertised. They're well known. One of them is more of a distillery that brews a local hard liqueur. And it's called Sakura. And then the second one is an ale brewery that uses local hops and such to make something that's called the Mountainside Ale.
I'd probably go to that. The ale
There's your-
place, if it would be expected that they would sell their stock to individuals.
They do. They have a tap room at the front of the warehouse. The whole warehouse is made out of stone and it's sunken slightly into the ground. So when you get in the front, it's a nice cooler temperature. It's essentially like walking into a cellar. Quite nice, and the beer there is not just fresh, but it's at a nice good temperature. And they will not only pour you like from a tapped keg, but they can also sell you by the keg, and they have smaller vessels as well if you're looking for something smaller.
Nephis would approach. I'm guessing there's just like a counter, or they have people roaming around the facility.
It's like a bar. It's essentially a small bar, but it's more of have you ever been to a brewery? Like they usually have that taste room where it's like a combination of a bar and a place of business. Like it's that,
Mm.
where they don't just sell you refreshments. Like they also have ledgers and shit. They're ready to do business right there at the front, and they'll also
Yeah, I'd
serve
like
you
to-
booze.
I'd like to go to the front desk person and say I'd like to pick up a I'd like to pick up a keg of your finest ale.
oh.
Finest ale. Ooh, all right. Oh, that's in the PHB, not trying to get a reference open for exactly how much a list. Sorry, I opened the wrong one, or I would have had the answer. Leave the fuck. Someone cranked the heat. I am cooking. Gallon too. So it's a gold piece per keg.
How hefty is the keg? Would it feed? Would it serve? A group of 6?
It's a 20-gallon keg. Yeah. This is one of those ones where they're like, hey, this is the finest we have. This is really nice stuff. We sell this to like, they usually sell it direct to taverns because nobody else wants to get a 20-gallon keg. But this is what we got.
20-gallon keg? Oh!
Yeah, I'll take that. Do they have any
All
sort of
right.
crew or means of transport? Like a
No,
little
but
wagon?
but I
Or
mean,
not
you do.
wagon,
You
but
have your horse and cart.
that's
I know it's not with you, but they won't like. They're not expecting you to just leave. They
don't have,
do
like, a
offer to
wheelbarrow?
keep it there. They do, but they're not going to give you their wheelbarrow to go across town.
Yeah, but don't they make deliveries to the tavern anyway? Whatever. I'm sorry. Never mind.
100%. Look, I'm answering the questions as they come. They
Big
can
mistake.
Yeah.
right. They can offer to deliver it to you at the tavern because they do regularly run deliveries there. But if you just wanted to walk out with it, they have their own internal transport stuff. But they can hold it for you, and you can come pick it up with your card, or you can do any of that stuff.
Well,
Ah,
who sells wheelbarrows around here in this town?
The guy scratches his head, and he tells you probably have to go to the carpenter down outside the. There's a carpenter who's pretty good at making wheels, and he knows that the guy makes wheelbarrows on the side, a few other things like hand carts and such.
All right. If I'm not back before you guys make a delivery to the tavern, what tavern are we at?
a wolf and cart.
The Wolf and Cart.
Or wolf and wagon.
The
I
wolf
think.
and wagon.
Oh. If I'm not back before, have this delivered to the Wolf and Wagon.
The guy says, "You got it."
And I go to see if there's wheelbarrows.
Oh, hang on. Take off my shirt real quick. Cooking. Oh, there we go. Holy crap.
I wish somebody didn't delete one
Sorry.
of my bardic inspiration dice.
Anton still has your bardic inspiration dice.
I still have one too.
Can you not copy?
You deleted
Or have-
it.
Carlos, you're up next. Prep your thing.
Beg your
There
pardon?
it is.
I said I'm coming to you next after Nephis, so just get yourself ready for the spotlight.
Copy that.
Bitch.
I'm glad it's a different color from all the other ones.
Okay, so you're gonna head to the dude outside of town to get a
Yeah.
wheelbarrow. Okay. So you get there, and the guy has he actually has not just some like smaller wheelbarrows meant for like gardening and crap like that, but he has some hand carts and he also has some sleds that you pull as well. If you're interested, and the wheelbarrows, they're 5 gold pieces, while the hand carts are also 5 gold pieces, and the sleds are 10.
Well, I would like to ask him what he think would be best to transport a 20-gallon keg from one side to another.
He scratches his head and says, "If you're doing it through town, I'd probably take a hand cart because that way you don't have to worry about the roads being as rough and it's a little bit more stable. It's better for your back."
What?
Because a hand cart has 2 wheels, a wheelbarrow has only one.
How much
Vinshenzo.
weight can the sled hold?
Oh, you scoff. He's all like 300 pounds. More than that, depending on which one. Depending on if you need it strengthened, I can reinforce it. Take me about an hour. They carry a lot of weight. You can also attach a horse to it, and you can do things like carrying slabs of rocks and such like that. Like they're meant for your heavy lifting.
Nephis begins to smile. I'll take this sled and reinforce it.
He says, "Okay, it'll take me an hour, but I'll do it. I'll do it at no charge."
Oh. Nephis will give him an extra gold.
Oh wow! So 11 gold instead of. He's very happy. He appreciates your service, and he'll put a rush on it. He'll get his assistant to give him a hand, try and get it out the door quick for you. So that's going to take an hour. I will.
Yeah, Nephis is
Yep,
gonna
sorry.
wait there and then transport the fucking alcohol to the tavern. That's his intention. So don't come back to me, bitch.
Bitch.
Okay, I'm going to write that down so that I remember that you've done that. So the next time something happens, you will be at the tavern with. Because there's nothing overly complex about doing that, so we'll just say that you got her done. All right, so Carlos, you are running for your dignity in the basement of college.
Yes, that's true. That's all I have left.
I'd say running for your life, but we both know that Carlos is not running.
Carlos
Okay,
runs
Shit,
for
I
his
got caught.
freedom.
Running for my freedom, yeah. So, was I able to find any, like, thieves' cant symbols anywhere on the walls while I'm running?
Oh,
Yes, you're able to find one or two little markers towards some of the smaller corridors. So the College of Wizards is a very complicated place, and effectively the way it works is similar. The best way I can kind of describe it is the infrastructure and the walkways and stuff are kind of like the human weird analogy, but the fucking bloodstream. So you have like your major arteries, you have your veins, and then you have your like more capillary tiny shit.
Yeah.
Given like wherever the places that you're going that they're important. Because as I said earlier, there's not a lot of places where you have entrances and exits. It's usually just one room, and there's places going to one specific area, and then you have to go back to the. Anyways, you get it. So when you start exploring down or trying to get down to when you're getting to the smaller like service ways and capillary networks and things, not only are you starting to find little scratchings of thieves' camp, but shit's starting to get a little bizarre on you. You start to see a lot of weird brass instrumentation, and you see a lot of sort of magic-oriented hardware. Is the best way I can say it. And infrastructure, and some places there's piping and other things like that. More sophisticated than you would normally see. But then again, this is a college of wizards, so who knows what upside down topsy-turvy shit is here.
Okay, so I'm able to find a place to catch my breath, I take it.
You know you're being searched for, so you won't have time to actually like stop and take a rest, but what you have afforded yourself is time to slow down and think. So you're still on the move, but it's not a rush anymore, if you understand. You got to keep going, but you don't have to keep going urgently. So you have time to like backtrack and look around, but you know you're still being searched for. They haven't called it off. They're looking for you. You got far enough away that you have given yourself space to think.
All right. Are there any thieves' cant markings that specifically point out a safe house or equivalent? Like a safe house or a safe room?
Yeah, sorry, I got so busy describing the environment. The thieves' cant markings, what they're essentially looking at, what you're looking at, is effectively like the Silk Road. It's a Silk Road of trafficking. So it's marking different turns and stuff for people to come, and it's all sending you away from the laboratories and through what seems to be like the back end of a more workshop type environment into logistical passageways. So now you're starting to see what look to be like laundry facilities or maintenance facilities, kind of thing like that. And it's less magic and it's less scientific, it's less industrial. Now it's more your mundane stuff, all the things you'd have to worry about: garbage disposal, for food, for laundry again, for supplies, all these kinds of things. That's what you're getting into now, and it seems like somebody's directing you through like an underground passage network into the more mundane, forgettable parts of the college. the background area where nobody thinks about.
All right. Well, considering I know they're still looking for me, I continue on through and keep following the markings. Now I'm looking for like another entrance or exit, because considering the size of this facility, it just doesn't make any sense that there would only be one entrance and one exit at the front. To keep something running like this with all the logistics, they would have to have like another way. So now I'm trying to find an exit or some such. And once I find that, then I would start backtracking to Khutula. Now that I would be, if I was able to find a way out, I'd backtrack to her so that we wouldn't have to leave through the front door.
So I'm gonna ask how long you're willing to take to map out this area. The map that you got for like the meta map that Carlos received from his racketeering friends has a lot of information on the castle, but not a lot of information on the College of Wizards. So I know last week I didn't do a very good job appropriate. So I know it's gonna seem shitty that I'm influencing your decisions that you probably would have decided a different way. So I apologize in advance, but the information you're working off from the College of Wizards is not very accurate. You know that it's a pretty fucking shitty place. You know that the people, the contacts, and the guys that you have in there, they are your mundane who struck up some sort of a bargain with the guys. Like, it's not well mapped out. They have their little area that they lord over, which is what you're drifting into now. And somehow they've managed to make an exchange where they sneak into the back, basically grab some nice little and sell for profit, make enough money to bribe whoever they need to bribe, and then fuck off without making too much noise. It's a delicate operation. It's not like the castle where you have the chambermaid who makes nothing, who's willing to tell you all about which time in the morning that the Lord is going to take his morning shit. It's not like that here. This is a very tight, lockdown place.
Right.
It's gotten more protection and security to it based off of the fact that they can restrict the access more than they can restrict the palace. Dignitaries don't come here. Foreign embassy parties don't come here. You know, royal balls gathering all the lords and schmucks and schmoohas in the land, and the rich people and the fucking Vinshenzo's, right, that just show up at the front door going, "Hey, let me in, buddy!" You know, they're allowed in the castle. They're not allowed in the College of Wizards. The place is fucking locked down. Kings are temporary. The security of the kingdom, however, that supersedes whatever goes above. That's the kind of place you're in. I didn't accurately portray that the other time, and I do apologize for that. I wish I could have informed you better, but you do have a working inside knowledge, and you do have access to questions that I will answer to make sure that you get your fair chance. Like, I'm gonna be tweaking the shit that you didn't hear because it's more fair. So I will tell you there are 2 exits. I'll rescind that. You do find 2.
So I'd
like to know how much time. Yeah, but I'd like to know how much time you're going to take to do this, because we're going to kind of play off of you discover this for yourself. That way, like, Christopher's very sorry, but the DM is able to flow it into making sense. Carlos didn't get good information, but he found it out for himself safely over time. Kind of that way.
Well, the way I figure it, Carlos has two things he can do to get out of here, alive and unarrested. He can either find the entrance or exit on his own by using the Thieves' Cant markings, or he can find somebody that works for the Thieves Guild that could help him help show him the exit faster.
Yes, this is true. Which one would you like to?
So he's gonna follow the markings regardless. That's gonna be a foregone conclusion. On the way, though, if he encounters any people on the inside, he's assuming that they won't bother him because he's still wearing his disguise, and they probably aren't aware of the alarm that went off, and they're also probably not guards. They're probably just mundane workers. he's gonna basically give a coded message to them in Thieves' Cant, and hope that that one of them happens to be one of the Thieves Guild, and not just one of the people on the inside, because they probably wouldn't understand Thieves Cant.
But
So,
you will
remember
spend
you're
as much
still
of
in
your
your
assumptions.
disguise.
Yeah, so some of your assumptions are true and some of them are false. The assumptions that, you're getting into the more mundane, you're not going to be seeing a lot of guards, correct. But these guys are aware of the lockdown, and they're jittery, and they're kind of looking around all freaked out because they're not quite sure what's going on, but they know, when you kick a hornet's nest, the hornets like to sting. So they're trying to keep low. And whenever you walk by, they get real fucking. But when you start speaking in that level of Thieves' Cant, you can tell that for a few of the people, they're just straight up confused. And it's not a confusion of what the fuck is this guy talking about? It's a confusion of like, okay, why is this guy talking this way? Like, they know what you're saying, but it's a lockdown. You're in the robes of the big disciplinarian dudes. It's one of those like, if I answer, this might be a test. There's a couple guys that do respond to you. Specifically 2 cooks in the kitchen, and one of the just sort of generic laborers who you find in the hallway, moving a cart full of like what looks to be just debris, and he passes you in the hallway, and he gives you the appropriate response to let you know he's listening to you. He's acknowledged your presence and your allegiance.
Standing. Without giving too much away, I ask him where where the exit is on this side of the facility.
So he tells you plainly. He tells you plainly the exit is farther down the passage that you're currently on, and then you got to move on to. He gives you accurate directions to the exit, which effectively is on an artery, but the artery is more of a logistical service way than it has to do with the officials, and that's how they get in and out. And he tells you where it pops up. Moving over to the city map here. So the wizards college is more on this side, the west side, and the service entrance is farther southeast.
Oh my! So
He doesn't tell you what kind of building or how it's presented above ground, but he tells you like, hey, it's like this is where it is in the city. So he doesn't give you other descriptions from that. So you know where you'll be popping up, but you're not quite sure what you'll be popping up into, unless you'd like to press him for it. In which case, he doesn't really say anything else because he's starting to look real shifty.
All right, well, I palm a gold piece and shake his hand and give it to him and thank him for his help, and I go and investigate the exit and see what I'm dealing with as far as if it's currently being guarded or not, and etc.
So I'll tell you, it is being guarded. Similar to the setup here, except without a mage at the front gate. So there's five cavaliers and like a plumed veteran. I'm calling them captains because it's a lot easier because they are the guys in charge, but it's not a captain. He's just the big boy in charge. And they're not at the level of aggressive standoff, of course, that's happening at the main entrance. But they're paying attention to the surroundings. You can tell that they're keeping their eyes out. You're a pretty wary guy, and you know how to spot guys that are looking around, and these guys are looking. So they don't notice you. You're far enough away for you to be able to see it, and they're paying attention more outside. And you're able to disengage or engage however you wish. You have that sort of distance to choose.
The door that they're guarding, what is it? Is it like just a regular like one door, double door?
It's essentially a big ass ramp that leads up into what you look at to be some sort of like a large open warehouse facility. It looks like it. It looks like it should be about 2 stories tall with a large peaked roof, except there is no second story. Like it's just open. It's that high up. You can see some sort of a crane apparatus that you would normally see closer to like piers and wharfs and such for handling large heavy objects onto trade ships. And aside from that, the usual warehouse clutter. No workers in sight. They all seem to have been sent off or sent somewhere. It's just the guards.
All right. So having found the exit, I'm gonna try to start backtracking my way to Khutula. If it gets too hot,
Before you go too far, because I told you found 2 exits, I just want to give you that info just to help you out. The second exit you found isn't an exit per se in terms of like a way to just walk out, but it's effectively like a hangar in the mountainside. And you're able to, once again, you spot this enough, you don't like you find enough information to know kind of what it's about, but you disengage, and it's exactly that. It's in the side of the cliff face, and it's a way for flying objects to enter the facility. That you can tell. Like when you look out through a corner, you can see the countryside, and you can definitely tell that you're, midway up, a couple 100 feet in the air.
Huh. Is it guarded in much the same way?
Yeah, it's not. You can't see all of them, but you can see the presence of cavaliers.
Ugh.
And you can also smell, because I know you have a high passive perception. You can also smell the smell of livestock or some sort of like animals or creatures are being kept in the nearby vicinity. You can smell that whiff of just musk and hay and barn smell effectively.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you can't tell where it's from, but you can detect that change in scent.
Good to know.
So I'll let you plan your next steps, but because of the in-game time that's going to take Carlos to do his full reconnoiter, I'm just going to skip over to Khutula to let her sort of start on her little thing, and then my plan is for the sake of the party, I'm going to go back to Carlos because we're kind of focusing on them right now. After Carlos, it's going to go to Anton, Isaac, and Vinshenzo. I know you guys have sort of separated out into individuals, but I'll give you guys a chance to either rendezvous at the tavern or do whatever you wish to do. It'll be your opportunity to sort of plan and talk together for your next phase ahead.
Hell yeah.
So that's my plan. So we're going to go to Khutula real quick. Carlos, I'll give you a second to just sort of figure out what your next step forward is. If you already know, let me know, but if that'll give you the time to figure it out with the information you have, because I know I sort of bombarded you a bit. So while Khutula goes through her thing, we'll go back to you right after, and it'll give you a chance to be ready.
We'll let Khutula have some fun.
Fuck yeah. All right, Khutula. Yeah, you're in the suicide box. You're in the special padded room. It's not actually a special padded room, but it is quite comfortable. Sort of, not walls pressing in, but definitely like nice tight blanket hug kind of feeling as you're sitting in there. Especially for you, who's somebody who I would consider a sensitive magic user, you do feel blunted. It's the best way I can describe it. Almost as though you have a cold. One of those sinus shitty head colds, except your nose isn't clogged up. You just don't feel right as you sit in there. Eventually, and again, we're going on in about a 2-hour time frame that you've been sitting around and kind of waiting. So, however, Khutula will handle sitting in effectively a featureless box that has a door with a tiny little window that you can barely see out of. There's a table and a chair thing. All the amenities a prison cell would have. Very nice, neat, and clean. Very It's like the chic prison cell. Anyways,
Wow.
so after about
which
2
difference?
hours, one of the Cavaliers who you recognize as one of the instructor cadre Cavaliers. So these are the two guys that initially encountered you in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two of them comes in, and for the sake of visuals, these Cavaliers, they wear full plate. Even the instructors are in full plate. The things that that differentiate the instructor Cavaliers in the staff versus not only their initiates but some of the security. The initiates, they haven't been afforded the privilege to wear the specialized armor that the Cavaliers wear. So they're just walking around in effectively like fuck you boot camp uniforms. The Cavaliers, the regular Cavaliers, they don't have cloaks, but the instructors, they have large brown cloaks that have one clasp on their right shoulder that has the crest of the actual Wizards College. So they're wearing their armor with a cape that has the Wizards College crest, and they don't have helmets. So that's the big important differentiation. You can see their faces. They're more human than their service counterpart. One of these guys comes into the room, and he sits down opposite you if you're sitting, and if not, then he takes one of the chairs and motions to you to sit. However you respond, he pulls out from his cloak a little ink pot, and then he pulls out from somewhere else in his cloak. He's kind of reaching behind into a place you can't quite see, in a quill. And then after that, a little roll of parchment that he unfolds, the ink pot on one side, and he puts a small little piece of metal on the other side, kind of thing like that. He straightens it out, and he starts writing a few things. And he looks at you, and he writes a few things, and whether or not you've cooperated and sat down, however you're standing, it takes him about 2 or 3 minutes before he sets the quill back down, and he sits in his chair and leans back a little, stands on the table, and just kind of looks for a second. And there's that nice long silence, that pause.
Who are you working for?
I just figured I'd type it out because you were explaining, but
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Cool. So are you going to address him at all? There's this nice sort of in universe not awkward, but extended silence. He's just kind of looking at you.
it's definitely like
You're
an extended
probably
silence.
staring at him.
She's kind of
Oh yeah, it's extended.
glancing around.
It's palpable.
She's just like sitting there, like clearly like anxious out of her mind, and the suppressive energies that she's feeling from the cells just kind of slowly getting to her, and she looks very on edge, but just sitting there silently, kind of like eyes darting around.
All right. So after a moment, the instructor, he takes out from the left side of his back of his cloak in some invisible place. This time, he takes out a small, extremely good smelling, very delicious looking, like condensed piece of effectively like baklava, if you've ever had baklava. And it's in a little, effectively like looking like a Twix bar, except it's this nice little very condensed, juicy, sticky honey with little bits of nut on top, and it looks like, is that powdered sugar? That could be powdered sugar. And he pulls one of these out and he sets it on the table, and he takes another one out, and he breaks off about a third of it, and you can hear the crisp that is barely able to fight its way out of all the oily, honey, sticky juiciness. that nice little crispy snap. And he tries one, and you can tell his face just melts. He's enjoying that. He relaxes. His shoulders drop a little bit. His eyes close. The mouth works. And he takes a pause, and he looks at you for another, not quite as inappropriately long silence, and then he pushes the other one your way, and he gestures his hand at you in a gesture of offer. He hasn't spoken anything yet. He hasn't said a word.
Her eyes kind of like dart back and forth between him and like clearly like having a conflict of interest. And then she slowly reaches up and like snatches it up and like pulls it towards her and tentatively starts to bite into it. How is it?
So as he gives, it's fucking good. That shit is top tier. Exactly how I described it. If it was good enough description, it tastes that good. It's not overcooked. It's not undercooked. Each of those 800 million layers of little flaky loaf, the little flaky pastry bread, they're just really beautiful, and it's inlaid with spices and that nice, beautiful, intense taste of the honey. It's not overpowering. It's equally balanced out, and it's just great. I don't know how long it's been since Khutula's eaten. Really nice little treat. It's
after like a few nibbles, she just immediately just goes to fucking town on it. Probably doesn't take very long to disappear.
And by the time you look back up or you start paying attention again from consuming this dessert, you'll have noticed that the man across from you, and he is a human, has also inhaled this. Or it's definitely not there anymore, and he's kind of sucking his fingertips, getting the little bits of sticky honey off of his hands. And he takes a corner of his cloak, which is sort of draped over one shoulder, and he dabs the tip of it on his the corner of his lips, and he straightens his thin silver mustache. He's definitely an older looking man. His face is lined with age. He seems as though he's been places and done things in the service of his king. He's an older man. He's a distinguished gentleman, some would say. He's clean. He's well kept. He's prim and proper. He's sitting straight. All of those kinds of things. He carries himself with the air of a man who is not only very confident in his abilities, but he's also very he's well mannered. Anyway, so he finally speaks up with a little cough, clearing his throat. Tells you, my name is Alphonse. I'm one of the instructors here at this college, and I will be interviewing you today. Can I have your name, please?
He just kind of squints at him, unsure of how to respond, and stays silent for a moment.
He allows the moment to linger, and it begins to linger into a prolonged silence. He doesn't seem overly troubled by this. His face is neutral. He hasn't even picked up his quill yet. He waits.
He kind of like
that's fine. That's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't even he's not about this. Hey, that's well, I've told you my name. As well, I've told you my position. I'm an instructor with the College of Willisers. I used to be a Master Cavalier serving under His Highness. I ended my career now, and I not only teach, but I help with internal affairs, not just in the college, but the security of the kingdom as well. My position. Can I ask who you're affiliated with, potentially?
Hang on, I'm typing something out, sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to as well. Kenzo, his name is Alphonse, spelled with an S. He's a master cavalier serving as the as staff for the Wizards College.
He like really quietly just speaks up and just says, "I serve my own interests."
He picks up his quill quite nonchalantly, and he dips it in, and he jots a little note down. He's not making any efforts to hide anything that he's writing down, but he's not like attempting to make a display or anything. It's not a performance, or maybe it is. Who knows? But he's not making it a performance. Says, very interesting. And what self-interest do you have in this facility today?
Knowledge and understanding of myself.
Slowly. Very interesting, he says. And he neglects to speak further. Whether or not Khutula responds, it's going to be another lingering long silence. The quill is returned to the exact same place on the table after appropriately tapping off any of the excess into the ink pot, and then returned perfectly parallel to the right edge of his parchment paper, which is beginning to flutter a little bit. If there's some sort of a draft coming in somewhere, and it sort of breezes itself up and down slightly, and he flattens the corner with his hand quite deftly. His knowledge for knowledge's sake, and the appetite of learning can often lead us into dangerous situations. Can you ask me how you came to be in this facility in the first place?
I was brought here. She like
By whom?
Clearly does. The man you found me with.
And what might his name be?
She clearly like seizes up and can't looks very unsure.
There's another lingering silence. When I say this, the time frame of these are like a solid, very long, very palpable 2 or 3 minutes. If you had a clock ticking, you would hear every single second pass by quite loudly for a good 2 or 3 minutes before he says or does anything else. Each action he takes seems to be like he only does one thing at a time. He either picks up his quill, he writes something, or he speaks to you. And even the process of moving from one step to the next is taken by itself. Very, very time. There's no time here. He's taking all of it. The time is his. It's not yours. And he knows it too.
After a few minutes of drawn out, painful silence, she just kind of like mumbles out like, I thought I knew, but I'm not sure.
He nods his head, and the same process, takes his quill, jots a note down. Well, that's very interesting. And what attracted you to him in the first place?
The promise of safety and understanding of my abilities.
This response doesn't take any time. The second Khutula finishes speaking, he asks, "Are you very safe right now?"
I don't think so. She's like clearly like starting to shake a little bit, unsure of like what his intentions are.
He nods his head. Same process. A good 2-minute silence this time. He asks again, "What is your name?"
She pauses for a couple minutes and then very quietly just kind of mumbles out, "Khutula."
And he writes that down, and he asks, "And what is your allegiance?"
I don't really follow anyone. I've just been traveling on my own.
He nods, and he slowly, quite methodically, after your response, takes his quill, and he returns it to wherever it had come from, and he slowly inches the papers out from underneath their paperweights, keeping one hand, of course, on the ink pot to make sure no ink spills. And he folds up after tapping the papers to ensure that they are appropriately aligned, and then blowing on the ink lightly to ensure that it is dry. He rolls them up and puts them back wherever they came from. And he repeats the process with the rest of the articles he placed on the desk, and he says, "Well, thank you very much for the information. I will return." And he stands up and he walks over to the door. He doesn't seem to open the door opens itself for him. He exits the chamber, and then the door closes, and he disappears. Not disappears as in pops out of reality, but he just fucks off somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you are left alone. Carlos.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so, having seen the two exits, Carlos would start making his way back towards Khutula and the dungeon, or whatever you would call it, the jail cells, using the use camp markings as a reference so that he'd be able to move more quickly. If it ever gets too hot on his approach, he would try to double back and find another way through, like an alternate path. But if that happens more than a few times, he would pull back to like the logistical section of the complex and kind of try to wait things out.
You won't be able to be given that opportunity, as the people who are doing the security sweep they're essentially they're not leaving any stone unturned. You've been safe so far because you've been able to maneuver around or keep out of their way, but staying at this point in time for the time you've spent in the lower levels, you know that there's nowhere you can sit for any length of time because of the things that are going on. Also, effectively, this is hour number 3 or 4 that you're fucking around in the basement and you haven't been caught. Cool stuff, well done. But because of that, you started to notice that more than just your average human, either whether it's a wizard or a staff member or a soldier, there's more things out there looking for you or just looking around than that. Two of the things that you notice, there are three different sets of sort of sounds and creatures that you witness, but two of the things that you see in your eyes, number one, there appears to be some sort of a strange a hairless dog or a hound of some sort. It is a long black rigid spine,
My God.
not spine, sorry, long black rigid spines running down its back. It has a very long, almost like a crocodile mouth. It's not that pronounced, but it has that pronounced jawline with razor sharp teeth. And as it paces down the hallway, it sort of chortles to itself, grumbles, and it opens and closes, kind of like throat sacs in its neck that let out a soft hoot or a warble. And it's snuffling along. And the other weird thing that you come across is some sort of a 4-legged mechanical spider with a very distended abdomen. I think it's thorax. Thorax is the big fat butt on a bug, right?
I think so.
Okay, well, it's got a very distended, like almost a globe, one of those, and it doesn't crawl along the floor. It's actually like skittering on the ceiling, and it just kind of looks as though its sort of body is correctly orientated to the floor, but its legs are upside down, propelling it along the ceiling like a kid on monkey bars. Except it's all four legs, and you see one or two of them skittering along the ceiling. You also hear a strange, it's a sound that you can't quite describe with any language that you know, but the sound in of itself causes your teeth to itch and your ears. I don't know if you've ever had ear bleeds and you have that weird sensation. Like it feels like your ears are bleeding, but there's no actual liquid there. It's just very discomforting. And your nose gets dry, and it's a very unpleasant sensation. And you know that it's something that you can. There is no. So those are the things that you experience as continuing. But whatever place you're trying to move yourself there. You do eventually get there. While this security sweep seems to be quite thorough, it's not. It's got limitations of manpower that you've been able to exploit.
Thank God. So I am able to make it to Khutula.
Oh yeah, it's a vast, extensive complex, as you were able to describe. You're able to get back sort of towards where Khutula is, but that area is under a fairly, I don't want to say a hard lockdown, but there's guys stationed. That's more static. They're not roving.
Right.
They're there and they're watching. They know that they have a prisoner, and they know the prisoner's gotten, and they're kind of expecting you to come back and see, or anticipating that you might.
I'm sorry, say that again? Kind of blanked.
There's guards around the cell block area where Khutula is. It's almost as though they're anticipating you might return for her.
Bastards. So there's no way to get to her cell specifically?
So again, your information is 3 hours old. So Carlos is working with old intel. The cell that you remember her going into, there's one person in that hallway watching that hallway. But in that general area, you notice that there's a couple guys posted at like the artery corridors. You can get there. You could potentially get around them. I don't want to, like, it's not easy. You'll have to figure out your own crafty way, but it's not like there's 600 stormtroopers just walking back and forth in an elevator on the Death Star, kind of stupid security. But there's guys posted up. It's not full 360 awareness, but they got the main entrances covered. And they got at least a guy in most corners.
Okay.
Once again, I know we don't really have a visual map to look off, so I'll take a pause here and I'll describe the cell block area, so that'll give you a better kind of the visual reference. So the cell block is off an artery, and it effectively has, drawing it on a piece of paper as I describe it to you, so that it's no matter what, have it down. So you have 8 cells, 4 on one side of, we'll call this like the one central hallway. You have 4 on one side, 4 on the other. Using an arbitrary north for my map, somebody wants to follow along at the same time, they can, but using an arbitrary north as my map, Khutula is in the southernmost west, bottom left is where Khutula is. You know that for a fact. You are aware, because of the way you escaped, that the corridor at the north end of this cell block hallway goes off to the right, so that's east, and then fucks off into a series of capillary hallways, which is how you were able to eventually escape the first time. That's how you kept ahead, because it sort of disappears. Now, for the southern hallway, or the southern part of the access, you know that it splits into a T, capital T, essentially a big ass fucking upside down, effectively an upside down J if you're thinking of the map. So you guys were led in from the right. So you led in from the right, went up the hallway, and that's when you guys did your shenanigans. Khutula got pushed in a cell. You fucked off north. You know that you could have gone straight, and you know that down there, you haven't really seen a lot there yet. So you have essentially three major corners that I've through the shitty plan I've described. There is a guard who is standing in the north section of the prison cell where the hallway turns east, where you escaped. There's a guy there. There's a guy posted up at the other end, the opposite end of the hallway in the T intersection there. And then there's a guy who is roving through one of 5 capillary entrances. So he's visiting sort of all 5 capillary entrances that is in the hallway going east, the northeast hallway. And essentially those lead off at irregular intervals. 2 of them, the first 2, go to the north, and they are joined together coming off of the main hallway. So you have essentially like one of those. Keep going down the hallway, or you can choose one of 2 other offshoots. The other one effectively is formed from the hallway that you're in, just becoming smaller over time, and then the other 2 on your south side. So there's one that's a 90-degree turn. It's about 80 feet. I'm gonna say 80 feet from the turn, and the other one's another 30 feet after that. So that's a total of 110 feet after. Whereas the first set of capillaries that I talked about is 60 feet after.
Right.
The T intersection, one end you haven't seen yet. The other end you came from, and that leads to the artery near the lab where you got caught the first time. That's a lot of information at once. I'm sorry if you're not following 100%, but I've also drawn it so I can repeat as much of the little bits and details as you need, and they will. They're right in front of my.
A
Right.
tall white fountain played.
It doesn't seem like there's any way to get to Khutula's cell unnoticed. At least by the one that's in the hallway.
I mean, at least there's only 2 of them.
True. And one's, yeah.
Would you like me to take a picture of the map that I drew so you can have a second or 2 to think about how you want to approach this?
Sure.
And then move to someone else? It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a second. I drew it okay, but I'm just gonna make sure it's nicely labeled or something so that when you look at it, you understand. So we're gonna go to Anton just left, but Vinshenzo and Nephis and Isaac, 3 of you, feel like you guys are all gonna end. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to tell you where to go. But Vin and Isaac, you guys are on the way to somewhere. I know Nephis is at the tavern.
I am at the tavern.
You're going to the tavern too? Okay, so you meet Nephis with his 20-gallon keg of ale. And Isaac also goes to visit Nephis with his 20-gallon keg of ale.
Hell yeah. If I'm able to find Isaac and Anton and Nephis at the tavern, I would say, with or without Khutula and Carlos, and with or without you, I will go to the party tonight and take care of what needs to be done. It is the best hope for our companions at the college. And if you are with me, I would greatly appreciate it. And then I would next I would attach 5 of my torches to 5 bolts of crossbow ammo, and then I would go to bed.
Okay. Shit. Fucked up the map. I heard everything you said. You're
And begin a
you're
long
good.
rest, and then I would hopefully wake up in time for the party, since I think it's still pretty early morning.
It's later in the morning, but given I will allow you to receive the benefits of a long rest if you're going to be resting up until basically.
Well, he only needs to rest for 4 hours anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a fucking elf. Fuck you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that.
And yeah, I tell them that I must rest to recover my stamina of sorts before the party. The keg of gunpowder will be ready tomorrow, correct? The day after the party?
Yeah, sadly, it'll be ready for use the day after. Not cool, but
That is fine. And with that, I would begin meditating in my room.
Nephis, are you back or are you still AFK? Oh, good, Anton, you're back. It's your turn. What do you want to do?
For Anton, he's gonna try not to stress the fuck out. So he's probably gonna get himself a drink and just hopefully hear good news or hear something. Because this is not at all going how he'd like it.
Just so you know, Anton, well, I don't know, maybe we should wait until Nephis gets back so I don't have to say it 3 times, but...
He's back.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, sorry, you mean Devon. You mean Devon.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
Nephis.
don't know if Devon's back.
What I'm doing is, I just got done saying all this, but just so you know, I said to everyone, with or without Khutula and with or without Carlos, as well as any of you, I will be going to the party tonight and doing what needs to be done. It is the best hope for our comrades at the college. And then I would begin a long rest, begin meditating.
So what am I supposed to do? We can't... Fine.
We are already down 2 hands, Anton.
This isn't good.
The
This is
docu
not
map is
good.
on Discord. Revel in my map making skills.
I don't see a map in any of the channels.
No, I sent it to him privately. The reason I
Oh,
sent it
okay,
to him privately
never
is because it was the first thing I could do. That's why I said Kardoc.
Okay, I begin my long
I
rest.
can- You begin your long rest. Anton, what do you want to do?
I don't think there is actually really much I can do except just pretty much wait things out.
Okay, but
So-
what things do you want to wait out? I need to know what process of the stack that I can add you into. Are you going to Vinshenzo, or are you going to sit there forever, or are you going to run off in an hour and a half and try and Rambo into the college? Like, what are you going to do? Frolic with lambs?
I'm
need to know.
considering that. It's just there is great conflict in Anton at the moment. So
Yeah. He's
But for
done some
right
pretty
now-
crazy shit. He just abandoned a friend who was in jail.
I know, but bloodshed
Anton doesn't know she's
also.
in jail.
Well, I don't know. Have you said this? I mean, regardless, it could be bad here.
I don't even think Vin knows she's in jail. He's just been talking to Carlos.
Okay, well,
Alright.
two of your friends, and specifically Khutula, are in trouble and they're stuck, and you left them. And for Anton, I know that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
How is
It is
he
a
handling
very big deal. I'm probably gonna give it like an hour, and then I'm gonna go visit it again. Just to hopefully calm
Okay.
things down. Because
So you go back. The guys aren't brandishing their weapons, but you know they're still watching the entrance.
all right,
You're not even close to baseline, Anton.
close to baseline. What do you mean?
Just ignore me.
Cells
man.
within cells within cells.
Yeah. Are these fuckers all still standing? I mean, aside from the four, like, are these guys in the back still standing?
I know the wizard's fucked off, and the two guys in the back you can see. So he's gone.
Okay,
These
well,
guys- So I guess technically you can't see the wizard either, but
Oh, you said they're not brandishing weapons. Let's do this.
the guys they're on guard.
okay.
they're just on
Well,
guard.
yeah, weapon sheath. I'm gonna walk up to them.
Okay, well, the same thing happens whenever. Nope, you get to 30 feet. You get to 30 feet, and you get told to fucking stop. And all the weapons come out. You get pointed at, and they're. This isn't the captain or anything. But one of the guys said, "You were told to disperse. You're getting arrested. We are calling the town guard."
Yeah, and you have some people of mine.
No, they stopped. They stopped listening. One of the guys, specifically this one, this one looks off and he like calls over to a guy in a chant that you don't quite understand. Like language you get, but you don't. It's just fucking gibberish for you. And then as soon as he gets you can't hear the response, but clearly he has acknowledged something, and he turns back to you and he puts his sword back up. Now, I'll point out, all of these guys are essentially in one-handed. They're wielding long swords, but they're wielding long swords with only one of their hands. It's very obvious that they are ready for combat, but their left hands are free.
Yeah, these guys are. Oh my fucking god, these guys are assholes.
I mean, they're assholes. They're doing their job.
I know.
Anyone who gets in the way of Anton and his friends is an asshole.
Anyone who gets in the way of Anton and his true love is gonna die. Khutula, you're the princess in the castle.
I'm sorry, it's true. The knight's rescuing the dragon, okay?
Again,
The knight is rescuing the dragon from the princess. Yes, you're the reason for adventure now, baby.
God damn it.
It's just
All
like
right.
Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek.
You guys aren't making this easy.
Punish
Okay.
Shrek. Khutula's the dragon. No,
I've had
doesn't that make Anton donkey?
Yes.
'Cause he fucks the dragon.
No, my god, that's a terrible image in
Sorry.
my head.
I've derailed this too much. You carry on,
What does Anton do?
dirty little mink.
Oh, I've had enough of this, and I'm going to fucking dash. Fuck it.
Oh.
Wow.
Anton.
Okay.
Wait, is the
All
door
right.
even open yet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
this-
the door's wide open. That's
Oh,
how
okay.
that's how you can see those guys. So
Not gonna worry about my weapon now
Alright.
just yet. I'm just gonna try and dash past this guy.
okay, roll initiative.
Here we go.
So I will state that the reason we're rolling initiative, this is what I'm basing it on, is Anton gets ready to run. And we all know what somebody who's about to fucking sprint at a door looks like, and you've done that. So we're now trying to figure out if these guys can react to you about to sprint faster than you can sprint in there.
Oh, so
That's
I need to
a 30-foot move that you go to
I
the
need to go
30
back?
feet. Well, yeah,
Okay.
have you ever tried to run 30 feet? Like, you can acknowledge somebody that is beginning to sprint, especially that you're sprinting 60 feet in, because that's what a dash does.
Yeah.
So if you're fast enough, you can get there before they're able to react, but they're ready for you. I specifically described how ready they are, so they're ready for
Well,
you.
if they
what I'm
aren't
gonna do-
surprised, isn't he going to take opportunity attacks regardless?
Yeah, like,
Well, that's why we're putting it into combat, because potentially
Okay.
instead of having 4 motherfuckers, put firebolts on his ass, he might just have one guy who takes
I'm
it wouldn't quite be
meditating.
so bad. Yeah, you're meditating. He's solo. I'm just gonna roll 5d6. It's gonna be
I love it when Anton goes solo boy.
here we go.
a lot of fun. Did my little metal d20 go somewhere?
Here's a d20.
This is
See
such
this
a terrible idea, but anything's a terrible
Here's
idea
your
at this
d20,
point.
Chris. I found it.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I think Isaac found
Fuck
it
yeah,
first.
okay,
though.
so well, thank you to whoever found it. What I'm gonna do, because they're all the same, for reference, the captain is gonna be my little d20 here, and the other 5 are just gonna be okay, and I'm gonna go from top to bottom when I read out the initiatives, just for sake of clarity.
Okay, I trust you, Chris.
Trust is the theme of the day for me right now. So, just turn the page here. Ding.
You did pretty good, Anton.
Yeah.
One has Ant.
2 of them are
One.
definitely ahead of you. But
I'm just trying to decide if I want to actually confront them or just run past them. I'm thinking about just running past them, though.
So
I thought you were running past
I'm setting
them.
the standard.
That's
The
what I'm gonna be
standard
doing.
is
Okay.
that there are 6 guys in the squad. Anybody who's witnessed that these cavaliers are in force, there's 6 guys. There's 5 dudes and then 1 veteran. 1.
The Greycastle identity.
It's the mass.
2, 17. So 8, 2 is 10. 17 plus 2, which is 19.
Is Anton
You're
gonna
up.
jump into the hole?
Yes.
12.
Oh my god.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, you don't know what it looks like, though, so I won't tell you. You go jump in that hole, buddy.
We're winging it.
You go leap down that chasm.
This is such a terrible idea.
Yeah, I really wish you ran it by
Secret, have you ever
Vin
gone
first.
skiing before? I think you have.
Yeah, several times. I'm a pretty
Vin
decent
wouldn't listen to
skier.
me.
So
anyway.
you know how on the chairlift, like the actual sitting chairlifts, you have those bars that come down. They usually have like the separators that you put between your legs for whatever reason.
Yeah. So you don't
So
slide
we,
out.
at work, we call that the metal shaft. And whenever we're skiing with somebody, we have to remind them that you need to put your metal shaft between your thighs.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, it was a funny anecdote that I remembered from today, so I wanted to share it. So we'll do, and we have Cav 1, and I'm just gonna go. So I'm gonna do that because after everybody else, it's really fun. So 1, 2, 3. This is number 3. 3. Cav 1. So this guy reacts to you first. No, sorry. This guy reacts to you first, and then this guy. So they see that you're starting to run. You're like, as you're putting your body in motion or as you're getting ready to go, they fucking know.
Hopefully this shield
And
helps
they are
protect
going
me.
to hopefully. Here we go. Thank you. Here we go. So unfucking load. Come on, internet, don't do that. Okay, so you are getting there. I just want to make sure that they actually have the spell that I think they have, because I don't want to fuck up this, because I want to be as fair as possible. So I'm trying to make sure I use the same stats that I've used the whole time.
This is Anton.
Good.
Quite literally. DM, just so you're
Okay,
aware,
that's what I thought.
I have my shield out, but my sword is not drawn yet.
Yep, understood, but so I'm gonna tell you, you've just charged a secure position after being told by soldiers that you cannot advance anymore.
I know.
And that you're being placed under arrest, and then you chose to sprint at them. So please understand that that's the up in the sky, no perspective looking. That is what has happened. So you are getting attacked with vicious intent because you have charged a secure facility.
I
The
understand.
first guy is going to magic missile you.
All
right.
And out of his fucking hand, he fucking blasts 1d4. So each dart, so that's 3 glowing darts when you cast a spell using a spell slot of second. Not going to use this first level, so it's 3 darts at 1d4 plus 1. I know these can't roll down the thing, so I'm not going to waste 5 minutes trying to roll them down my dice roller.
Just
There.
press R.
I just did that. So I'm gonna read with the +1 attached. So that's 3 damage plus 4 damage is 7 plus another 4 is 11 damage to you, and that is
So that's 14 total.
force damage. Yeah, no, that's 11. I
He already did
added
the.
I added the
11
+1.
total.
11 force damage. Yeah.
He is at 64 hit points. Since my heavy armor does not, or my mastery does not block that.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be chunky. I'm just gonna double check what this does.
A tall white fountain played.
Is this guy's gonna see that you took hits, and he's gonna react. Go, oh fuck, this guy sucks. And you are going to be Scorching Raid from the second guy.
It's a spell I'm not familiar with, actually.
Scorching Ray, you create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. You can hurl them at one target or several. So he's going to make a ranged spell attack for each ray.
Okay.
His spell attack is +4, so 20.
Damn it.
+4. So that's for the first one. The second one, 8 plus 4 is 12. I assume that's not going to hit.
12 does not hit.
Okay, and 15 plus 4 is 19.
That does not hit. So that
Okay,
means
so you
only the
take
crit hit.
2d6 fire damage from the one that did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
2d6 fire damage.
Ow.
So that's 3 plus 5 is 8 times 2 is 16. 16 fire damage.
I go down to 48.
Okay. It is now you.
Good luck, Anton.
I know, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm going to dash anyway. Let's see.
Don't worry, buddy. You're not an idiot. You're the idiot.
That is the nicest thing I have ever fucking heard.
All right there, Chris Traeger.
Alright, so I'm assuming I take an opportunity attack from this guy as I run past him. Just kind of like shield raised, just like rushing past.
Yes, you will take opportunity.
Go ahead.
Have this. All right. So he's going to one longsword attack. There we go. 5 plus that's 10. That's 11. So he's not going to hit you.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It bounces off your shield. You're able to maneuver your shield in such a way that his sword strike doesn't do any effect.
Flex off.
And after that kind of hit, because holy shit, that was a lot of damage that hit me all at once. I'm gonna go ahead and just use second wind now, before this gets any worse.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse. I just know it. Okay, 1d10 plus 7. All right. Do I still have that bardic inspiration from earlier?
Yes.
Cool.
If you haven't used it, you still get it.
Anton gains 12 hit points.
Nice. Okay. Well.
Oh, wait. I don't think he does. I thought Bardic Inspiration was like an 8-hour, like, entire day thing. It says they have to use it within 10 minutes.
Oh, well, in that case, it's lost.
It's been more than 10 minutes.
Take your freaking dice, sir. There you go.
I apologize.
Should.
Okay, well, I'll remember that next time I give out Bardic Inspiration.
Certainly hope you wouldn't be so petty.
Anton's back to 60 hit points. And that is all that Anton is going to do for this turn, because I'm still trying to be at least somewhat conservative here.
Yep, you're trying. Okay. Grab out. Looks like this guy's joining the combat. Let me take a look and see exactly what his fucking thing is. Da-da-da. He is the... Oh, he's this guy too. Oh. Okay. What's your wisdom saving? What's your wisdom like? Just before I get any farther.
+1.
Okay.
I didn't get quite far enough to actually get extra wisdom stuff for later. I'm getting there, though.
That's fine.
It's getting there, and that's what matters.
Sometimes you gotta do
type
dumb shit to
thing,
gain
I'm
wisdom.
sorry.
We'll have gained a whole 2 points after this shit.
I've learned what not to do.
I've learned what not to do. That sometimes being a hero is not a good idea.
Okay, that doesn't count. You're not a beast. That doesn't count for you. Fuck, this guy's spells
mean-
shit. You might be actually quite lucky.
That's up to interpretation.
If the DM says you're lucky, you're
true.
probably lucky.
I'm gonna need it.
Yes.
Okay, you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck.
Okay. Good luck, Anton.
Shit. I hit the edge of the table. 7. It's probably a fail.
No, You don't make it. So you are paralyzed. You thud to the ground because you dashed. I'm retconning that you were falling fast enough that when you got hit with this spell, you fucking crash into the ground.
Oh god damn.
You are paralyzed for up to a minute. However, because there are 4 people after you that are just gonna mob you and fucking arrest you as you're paralyzed, you are unable to offer resistance, and they are capable of essentially tying you up and putting
Throwing away the key.
manacles. It is
Well, maybe I
and they
probably
also
should have
take away your
action surged
weapons.
on that one, but oh well. All right.
Yeah, so it's matter, I guess, who, but yeah, combat ends. Anton's arrested. So these guys have you, and they drag you away, all the way the fuck over here. So I'm
Knew
gonna
I needed
abandon
those
that
wisdom
map. So what
points.
happens is they take you over off into a corner. They shove your face into the fucking ground. By the time the paralytic action ends, you're trussed up. I assume that Anton fights because Anton seems like the kind of guy who would try and
Yeah, I'm
not be restrained.
pretty much resisting.
And you are on the fucking ground with your face in the pavement, and there's a guy with a knee in the small of your back.
Oh
and
no.
he's throwing shit off of you, like throwing your
breathe.
possession. There's your bag of coins, fucking done. Yeah,
Let me go, you
you're,
bastards.
you're getting George Floyded. And there's another guy there who's got a fucking sword, like basically ready to stab into your jugular. He's not got it like touching you, but whenever you turn around and look to your right, you see the tip of a fucking lawn sword. The guy's got one hand on the pommel, ready to just shove it right into your fucking head.
Amazing. All right.
You have lost all of your possessions that are on your body that isn't your armor.
Okay.
All of that is, you can see all of it's just kind of thrown and scattered about the floor. 2 more guys come up, and they sort of like relieve the guys that are handling you, and buddies go back to their position at the door, and these 2 guys drag you away.
So all I will have for the time being is splint armor.
Splint armor, that's it. That's all you got.
And
Okay.
your clothes, obviously.
For the
Thank-
immediate
thank
future.
God I at least have
just
some
for
modest-
this moment now.
Wait, did they
Yeah.
put their knees on Anton's neck?
Yes.
Yeah, he had no, not on his neck, on the small of his back.
God damn it.
Say his name.
So you guys have a national George Floyd Day now?
I don't know.
Probably. We might have 2.
If it's a federal holiday, I can't really complain.
What is his fucking death like Easter? Did he resurrect himself and go to methamphetamine heaven or what? He's not Jesus.
He wasn't on
He didn't
meth.
die and come back to life and went to fucking like. No, I know he was on fentanyl.
okay. Let's
Pretty sure-
play.
Juneteenth is a holiday now because
That's what it was. It was Juneteenth. Anyways,
That
so
has
moving
nothing
on.
to
Yeah,
do with
Anton, you get
George
fucked off.
Floyd.
God damn it! This fucking screwdriver.
I can keep going with Anton because I know exactly what's going to happen to him next. But I think I'm going to go back.
Do your thing.
Wrote some so Finn's waiting for the ball. He's waiting for the ball. Nephis, are you back yet? If you are back, you're currently muted. And if you're not back, you can't listen to me anyways.
I think he's still gone because his hand has been in the same place this whole time.
Okay, and he's usually pretty good about informing me when he's back, but I just wanted to give the chance just in. Khutula!
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ew. Oh yeah, Knight, that's right. You do have a mask. That doesn't help you at all.
That's
Oh,
probably
fuck,
why
it's
they're
gonna
so
be good.
aggressive.
I said that. Yeah.
What
I
the
know.
hell?
I mean, I didn't even
Nephis
consider
is
the mask
back.
when you got yes, hello, Nephis. Hi, Nephis. So you, Nephis, are in the tavern with Isaac and Vinshenzo. He has decided that he's going to go meditate and gain the benefits of a long rest before the ball. Anton fucked off. You don't know where he went.
If you were in the tavern
Oh
when
no,
I
sorry,
went
I
to
think
go,
he announced it.
if you were in the tavern when I went to go meditate, I would have basically said that I was going to proceed with the plan myself, going to the party and looking for evidence, but would appreciate any help from anyone who's still around, and that it would be the best way to free or get or solve the problem at the Wizards College, I guess, is the way I would put it. So it would not appear to be metagaming.
Probably not wrong.
I tried.
You did.
Now, did you really decide that you were going to charge the Wizards College with everything you own on your back?
Probably would have left my coin purse with Vin.
Oh.
Okay,
It's like
I'm
I'm
gonna
buying
now forever
lunch.
picture Anton as being fucking Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings with a big ass fucking backpack full of pots and pans. That's
Okay.
that's
Lot of
you
cake
now,
and
in
meat.
my opinion. Yeah.
Just like meta wise, if we can't go back and do this now, but Anton, if you like handed me your gold pouch and was like, hey, hold on to this for a while, I would like ask you what the fuck is going on, because you've never done this for me.
I most likely would have just left it there and walked off.
Yeah, I think
And then I would
in
have
honest
followed you
opinion,
and
I don't think
asked
Anton
you.
would have thought about that. I think he would have just fucked off.
Anton was
Because
too
like
busy
when
being
he
like,
when you left, you didn't think about anything other than just going. So I don't think you had to make the conscious effort to say, no, I'm leaving my stuff here. I just
fair
needed
enough.
to vocalize this because I saw the list and I went, wow.
I
so you
mean,
have lost.
Let's all be
Wow.
honest.
Okay.
Let's all be honest. This is not the first time. Like,
The fuck
No,
are you
this is
talking about?
not.
yeah,
So Knight decided that he was gonna dash past the front door and he was carrying. Do you mind if I spoil this? I'm gonna do it, but if you,
you
don't
can
want
do
me
it.
to,
I don't care.
Okay, so the list of things that Anton has lost is longsword, short sword, 5 javelins, shield, great club, chainmail, backpack, including common clothing, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 9 torches, 10 days of rations, water skin, flask of holy
Okay, so
water, travel
everything he
cloak,
had.
Castilian short sword, 3 javelins, maul, 50 feet of hempen rope, chainmail armor, healer's kit with 10 uses, 2-person tent, soap, potion of healing, potion of climbing, coin purse including 100 gold copper pieces, 28 silver pieces, and 148 gold pieces has all been confiscated by the guards.
Yeah, really glad that potion of climbing is going to be put to good use, you fucking ass.
Just
Fuck
so
you.
we're all aware of what just got confiscated.
I'm aware. This again is not the first
know
time we've
you're
lost all
aware,
our
but
shit. So
It's okay. Khutula,
Yeah.
don't go where I can't follow. Frodo, dragon.
there has been a
Samwise,
lot of
Greycastle.
paranoia and issues with the law. Like, I have feelings that people are going to end up dying here. So, like, yeah.
So you decided to leave the potion. You didn't decide to leave the potion of healing. You just fucked off. I like this. I like this. You know what? You know what Anton did? He
I
said,
wasn't
"I'm
quite
committed."
expecting
You know what he
it to
did?
be
He fucking
instantly.
committed.
I'm not gonna say. I wasn't quite expecting to be knocked right there, like completely paralyzed the moment in.
Low
That potion
speed,
probably would have
high
been.
drag.
Yeah, the potion probably would have been nice for later, though. Just in case shit started getting a
Yeah.
little bit too rough.
Okay, let's get back on track. Sorry, I was the leading factor in that distraction. So Nephis, Isaac, and Vinshenzo theoretically now have the time together. If you guys, seeing as you're all here, if you have shit you want to figure out how you're gonna do,
I'm meditating.
it's up to you. Yeah, you've meditated for 4 hours.
Okay.
Isaac and Nephis, what are you gonna do for 4 hours before Vinshenzo gets back? If
Nephis is gonna fucking chill. He's gonna slow sip on some mead, pour himself a glass and just kind
Fuck yeah. He's having a good time.
Right.
It's a very big dish, if not my problem. Isaac is going to go question his life decisions.
I think many of us
Isaac,
are.
if you want to know anything about Gotrek, because you've tried pulling the card once again, because he's part of like your past, if you want to ask me any questions specifically about how you expect he would react or any of that, please go ahead and let me know, because he is a bit of a wild card, but Isaac Stormwind would know more about him, even if Chill doesn't. So if at any point in time you want to know more about that help card or what you think would happen or any of that, just ask, and I'd be happy to give you that insight, because Isaac does have some of that information. Just to give you that level of sort of accuracy with your help. That way you know how to use it if you want to. I don't know if Isaac is muted or nothing. Chill is generally just very stoic.
Yes.
I'm going to give him a chance to respond while he's typing. I have mic problems at the moment. Okay, cool. Well, if you ever have anything, I'll pay more attention to the chat now that I know you have mic problems. I assume you can hear me because you're responding well. Yeah, who is Mike? Is any kneecaps broken? Because you should probably handle that yourself. I'm not the one to ask. We'll go back to Carlos.
Hello.
Because he's probably had time to think of my beautiful Mona Lisa painting of that shitty map. Any thoughts you got?
Here's a thought. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Where am I coming from? Am I coming from the capillaries?
Because you had such amount of time to prepare yourself and know the area, effectively, like, you know everything in the north, the northeast, and the east. Anything except for the fucking, like, that one tunnel that fucks off past the cells to the west, you can get to. So you can choose your approach.
So if I wanted to, I could come from the lab?
Time.
Or
you can come from the lab area.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're aware that there's a guard there. That's my point. You can come from any of those entrances except for that one that you haven't made it. And it's
everything but the
southwest. One of the
southwest.
arteries that leads to a different segment. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's not many fucking options for me here because these guys know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
So
They are educated.
yeah, I'm like pretty sure if I get into a fight with one, I won't be able to kill them fast enough for like them not to raise the alarm, even if I can kill them. And then also, I don't want to kill them because then that would just complicate things so much worse. Like, it's one thing to like break into some place, it's another to commit murder against the people that own the place.
Look at it this way, Carlos. You've finally been to college.
Can put that on my resume. All right, so I'd probably try to come from the lab. Well, let me think for a second. Yeah. I would come from the lab area, and I would just nonchalantly start approaching the guard in the south there that's closest to Khutula's chamber. Does he, like, react in any way when he sees me approach? Because I'm assuming that, like, my disguise kind of prevents them from giving, like, a description of what I look like. Fake beard and all.
They can give a description of your disguise.
So I look like every other wizard in there? Okay.
Well, sorry, more my point is, you have to rely on the fact that you haven't told me that you've changed your disguise yet. So I'm proceeding right now under the assumption that Carlos looks the same as he did when he got caught, because he got caught while he was wearing the disguise. So to be
I
quite
mean-
blunt and maybe too open, you got caught looking like someone else. You didn't get caught looking like Carlos. They're looking for your disguise. That's what they know you look like.
Right. But like, if I walk out
In
there looking like
college-
Carlos, they're gonna be like, "You don't belong here because you don't look like a mage."
Yeah, but you don't look like the guy they're looking for either. I'm giving you the, like I said, maybe I'm being too open, but that's sort of the reality is, if you haven't made an effort to change your appearance, I think it's reasonable to assume that Carlos is smart enough to know that they're looking for what he looked like when he was caught.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he would.
that's who they know. So that's the information I'll give you, and I don't really have a whole lot else. The rest is up to you to figure out how you want to make a move.
Yeah, Carlos would have ditched his disguise because, like, if it's not going to help him anymore, then why wear it? So he would have left it somewhere.
Yeah, so now you look like Carlos, or whatever
Yeah.
Carlos looked like before he put on the disguise.
Yeah. So yeah, same plan. I'd approach the guard with purpose, but not like an antagonistic purpose, someone that looks like they're walking to you because they want to talk to you, right? How does he respond when he sees me?
He immediately bristles because you're foreign, but he's not. You didn't aggro the guard. I'll just put it that way.
He's just like, what's this guy doing here?
He's very aware that you're there, and he's very aware that you're foreign in the sense that you just don't look like you belong here, and he's ready. He's ready for you. He sees you. He's locked you in. Every step you take, you can feel the fact that he's paying attention to you.
So, sensing
But
that
he
he's like,
hasn't-
sensing he's going like kind of agitated and kind of getting on guard, Carlos would kind of like raise his hands like halfway up, like, "Hey, I'm not a threat. I'm not gonna do anything to you," kind of deal, because like he can sense like not really the antagonism, but just like that look, right? So then he's gonna, once he's close enough to speak to the guard in like a normal volume, he's going to like jerk his thumb behind him and be like, "Hey, I think I saw that guy that you guys were looking for back there, further back in like some of the labs. I saw him and he saw me and he just took off."
The Cavalier. I'm not going to get you to roll performance. I'm not going to get you to roll anything. So he's just accepting that what you're saying is at face value. But he's going to say, "Well, who are you though?"
Me? I'm the guy that's going to get your promotion for catching the guy that's been giving everyone the runaround. What are you talking about? If you don't go right now, you're going to lose him.
Good. I like that. That's going to be the persuasion.
Okay.
I'll give you that one. I had to take the you're wrong and not from around here at face value.
Ah.
Yeah. You're wrong and not from around here. And by wrong I mean like out of place.
Wrong and
Oh,
out of
shit.
place.
You are. What you described it perfectly. Yeah, I'm not the guy, but I'm still me. Like he
Get out of there, Carlos.
he says, "I don't know who you are. I don't think you're supposed to be here. You're gonna need to come with me until this whole thing's sorted."
So we're gonna go get the guy together? That's fine with me. Come on, let's go. I'll show you where I saw him.
No, you're waiting. No, you're waiting here with me. We're gonna detain you until I can confirm your identity.
Well, what with the guy that's getting away, like right now? So you're just
Run,
gonna let him go?
Carlos.
He's going
You
to. He's not going to draw his weapon, but he's going to very deliberately put his hand on the hilt of his longsword, which is not drawn still in the scabbard, and raise it up about a third of the way to very, like, I mean business, I ain't fucking around. You're coming with me. And he says, you're coming with me. We're detaining you until I can verify your identity, sir.
Run, Carlos.
I just got
God
done
damn it.
running.
He Metal Gear Solided his way all the way to the front door and then just walked up.
I mean, there wasn't any other course of action.
Look, I'm not judging one way or another. I'm here having about as much fun listening to how you're getting it through this puzzle as much as I am providing the puzzle. Like, I'm having a great time. This is really cool.
Run, Carlos.
I think you're doing a good job, by the way.
Oh god.
At least you didn't charge the front gates by yourself with no support, wearing all of your worldly possessions.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna drop a big meta hint for the party because every character would have heard this at one point. I'm gonna remind you all. Some of the cavaliers that are in the area as part of the Wizards College and as part of the Castle Guard are aligned with the prince because they were part of his bodyguard when the whole snafu happened, but you're not 100% sure which is which.
Okay.
That is information that was given to you when the party spoke to the prince, and he told you that he's got friends on the inside. So I feel like
let's hope they're here.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
IRL maybe forgot about that, the players, but I want to bring that back up just to make sure that you guys. That is one of the things that was pointed out when the prince told you about his whole drama.
Oh, okay. Well, if nothing else left to lose, I don't want to go on a fucking chase again and get lost for 5 hours. So Carlos would be like, okay, look.
Yeah.
He'd raise his hands again, like, I don't want to cause any more trouble here. There's no guy. There's no other guy. We've been sent by the true ruler of the land. The one that really deserves to be here. Do you catch what I mean?
I'm gonna say Kardoc so that you know that I'm talking to you. When I said that, it was probably a very inopportune moment. I wasn't saying that as a hint as you should probably do this. I was saying that just to make sure because everybody's plans are currently revolving in a certain direction. And I wanted to make sure that all the players remembered that this was a detail as part of the story. So I wasn't pushing you to try and negotiate with this specific guy in this specific way. Yes. I just want to make that bluntly clear before we proceed with anything. So does Kardoc respect the fact that I'm not trying to lead you into that direction?
Okay. Yes.
I just want to...
rephrase.
Again, I'm not trying to influence you one way or another. I just want to make sure that we're all flat out clear before I respond. And you go, fucking asshole, he tried to get... No. Like, I just want to make sure we're... Like, here's the situation.
Okay, yeah. Let me rephrase. Look, let me just ask you one question before we do all this. How do you feel about the king?
Oh.
So quite bluntly, the guy responds, "This is neither the time or place for politics. I need you to come with me."
And, where are we going then?
He's gonna jerk his thumb back. Well, this is the cell block.
We're gonna keep you here until one of my superiors is able to confirm who you are, and they'll determine whether or not they'll let you free or not.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work for me.
I will say that he has returned, like, he has made his gesture of aggression, but he has returned the sword to its scabbard. His hand is resting on it, but it's not like a third drawn or any of that shit now. He flashed it, just like flashing your piece. Like, he did that, put it back, but he's still got his hand on his sword as he's talking to you, and he's got his other hand, so it's left hand on the sword, and his right hand is like out and extended like the cowboy quick draw. Like, his palms are open, he's ready for something. Just to give you the stance and the position that guy's in. Like, he's in his ready for anything stance. Because you've seen it before now. You will have seen it already.
Yeah,
He's in his fighting stance. I know, it's quite the pickle when you're stuck by yourself in a maze full of assholes and it's just you.
Yeah, just me.
It makes it a little bit more. Sorry, not just you as in your minor, but you don't got your flexibility of resources. You gotta use what you got on you. It's tricky. Thank you. What would you like to do? Or if you'd like, I can move on to somebody else. And
Yeah,
you can
just let me
figure
think
out.
for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Take the time. I want you to be able to make the decision that you know you want to take and not feel like you have to be rushed. So if you need time, by all means. And it goes for everybody. If you need a second where you're like, shit, I really want to think about this, please tell me. I'll move on to the next person to give you the opportunity to make the right choice and not the rushed choice. So with that being said, I'll give you a chance to think. I'm going to move to Khutula now because she's been waiting patiently for a little while. It's fun to interrogate, I guess. Interrogation rule. Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh. So you've been left alone for about 2 hours. What is Khutula? How is Khutula doing after 2 hours of being left alone after that previous interaction?
A bit shit, to be honest.
Not having a good day.
No, I think it's like because like you mentioned, she's like magically sensitive and the room is kind of like wearing her down and having a strenuous effect upon her.
And the
Okay,
guy's
I'm
coming
just,
in
like-
and asking you questions, and it's just an unpleasant.
And it's pretty much like near PTSD at that point
Oh my.
from previous
Yeah,
experiences.
she's not having a good time.
At least she got a nice
Deadly.
snack.
All right.
That's what you trusting Carlos Santiago.
Oh wow.
So
Get the-
in the Vinshenzo, because you were the person who was speaking to the prince, I know we're rewinding a bit. Did you at any point reveal the names of your companions to the prince or his associates? Or did you just tell him, like, yeah, my crew and I will take care of it?
Ideally, no. I think the only people who were introduced was me and Carlos.
But do you feel as though Vinshenzo would reveal that
I don't
information
think
to somebody
I-
who he's working?
Maybe after like money changed hands and we had an official like pseudo-official document, maybe, but I definitely wouldn't have shared that up until then.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to check that.
So
So
I guess I'll leave it up to you. I would say like 50-50. on and I guess it's also up to Carlos because he was also there. Whether or not how likely he would have shared that, but Vin would not want to implicate people in people that he would see as his friends and people who would be implicated in like potentially like, you know, treason, regicide, whatever. He would want to shield them, but he would also want to give them the most advantage possible. So it's a toss-up on whether or not I would share that.
Okay, well, I think given Vinshenzo's like concerns and stuff, and the person he is, I'm gonna proceed based on the idea that you haven't shared with the prince all of the people who work with for you. Given the fact that while you're happy to help him, you're also a little bit hesitant. Like you're aware of exactly how important this kind of situation in terms of
Yes,
what
and
it means
also,
if it goes south.
I want to agree with your decision and approve of it because Vin would have also been under the misguided assumption at the time that we would have all orchestrated the plan together. And we would all be together, so I could... yeah, I like... yeah, that.
Fucking deadly. Okay, Khutula. So you are in whatever position. Where are you in this cell? It's been about 2 hours. Think of a place. It doesn't matter where. I just need to visualize this so I know how this next bit happens.
Excuse me. It's probably curled up in the corner on her side.
Oh my god.
Back up in the corner on the side. Okay.
Somebody get that Dragonborn a security blanket.
So,
Like fiddling with her talisman.
I'll get you to... Yeah, probably. So so after about... Khutula doesn't have a timepiece or anything. I feel like she would have access. Oh no, I think you do have timepiece. We recommend this. So yeah, you know about 2 hours has passed. And eventually the same guy comes back. It's Alphonse again. And he performs his same little ritual procuring of his different bits and bobs that he puts out in the same setup with the same deal. And it's the same. He just kind of examines you, and this is a fresh sheet of parchment. He jots down his notes and does his long lingering silence until you either get up to the table or it's very obvious that you're not going to move. However you react, he enters and he does his thing again. He puts his quill nice and perfectly parallel to the parchment. He has the little weight stone to make sure it doesn't all flap around too much. His ink pot ready to go. It's holding down the other corner. Everything's perfectly straightened out and aligned. And he is examining you. He's watching you and seeing what you're doing.
She would probably just be very unresponsive and sitting there just staring at the amulet while running her fingers across it.
After an unnecessarily long silence, a good 5 minutes have passed as he sit, and you can hear the occasional shuffle, and he at a certain point, if Khutula's watching, if she's just focused on her talisman, then she'll hear this quite keenly. But if she's watching, from one of the man's many invisible nowheres, he reaches out and he produces a small it looks like a leather coin purse, but you can tell there's no coins in it because when he places it down on the desk, there's no jingle. And then once again, he procures from out of seemingly nowhere a nice long churchwarden's pipe, one of the very long sort of Gandalf pipes, and he with a finger and a thumb, he inches into the pouch and he removes some tobacco and he tamps it down quite thoroughly with his pinky finger, and then reaches again and tamps another little bit down and raises the pipe to his lip for a moment and then stops, and he makes a point of recognizing Khutula as being there. He says, "Do you mind if I smoke? It's been a long day."
He like very subtly kind of glances over at him, but doesn't respond.
Well, he seems to take that as some sort of an approval, and he, using the tip of his finger, his index finger, he produces a small flame, briefly enough to ignite the tobacco that he's placed in his pipe. He takes a nice long series of slow draws just to get it working, and you can smell it's almost like a not a fermented, but a nice heavy, almost kind of dried fruit aroma that begins to fill the room, and you can see little swirls of smoke, and he takes a couple big puffs and enjoys the draw and the sensation and the hit, and he blows a smoke ring or two. He relaxes, he leans back in the chair a little bit, he kicks his legs out underneath the table so that they're essentially producing from the other side. He's quite a tall fellow, and he just enjoys a nice smoke, and he says, "Are you hungry at all? Is there anything I can get you? Thirsty, perhaps?"
He doesn't respond.
He takes another big draw on his pipe. And then after a while, he stands up. A good, another 5-6 minutes of him just enjoying his tobacco. He stands up. And he makes a big grunt. He stretches. You can definitely tell that age is catching up to him, and he strolls over quite calmly, and he notices Khutula's talisman, and he squats down on the toes of his feet, and you can now really smell the pungent aroma of tobacco. It's really is clung to his clothes, and it's held on his breath as he speaks. As he draws close, he doesn't say anything other than a few sort of not mutters, but just vocalizations. He looks at the talisman and examines any obvious facial or exposed skin scars, and he seems to essentially be performing an examination of you while you're curled up in the corner fiddling with your talisman.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't made any physical contact. He's essentially just performed a visual examination of Khutula. After a moment, he rocks on the heels of his feet and juts that into standing. Returns to the desk, stands over the desk, jots down a few notes, and then returns, and he says, "I've been instructed to offer you a lot of latitude, not only in your treatment here, but potentially a quick release. However, I need to see some cooperation. If I don't see any cooperation and we feel as though we have to keep you for a longer period of time, we're going to have to do a medical search to ensure that you're not injured or any way potentially a risk to yourself or other people. If you don't comply with this, we will do it no matter what. It's not just for your safety; it's for ours. After that, we'll be keeping you long term. If you don't want this to happen, I'll need your cooperation. I'll need you to start being more forthcoming. If you don't, well, as I said, we'll have to detain you for longer." But the only way I can help you is if you answer questions and get me the information I need so that I can go to my superiors and tell them you're not a threat. Because in my mind, you're not a threat. You're I don't want to say a waste of my time, but you just wanted to come here and learn, and now you're here in a prison cell. And I've been in these cells before in your place. I've been exposed to this environment. I know you're probably very discomforted here. If you cooperate, I'll be able to get you out sooner. You'll be free. But if you don't cooperate, I'll be forced to do my job, which means that you'll be detained here for longer in cells like this.
She kind of just like gives him a bit of a hard look and stops paying attention to her talisman as much, and she just kind of mutters like, "What do you want?"
I want to know who helped you enter this secure facility. I want to know who asked you to look through all of the rooms that are here, and I need to know why you're here and what information you're collecting. And if you're not, and it's some sort of a simple mistake, I need to know what kind of person put you up to this or who got you access to this facility.
I already told you about him. I thought I knew him, but I'm not sure what his name is now, and it's hard to think.
Well, what help you think easier? Would you like some food? Like some water? Would you a blanket to rest under?
Like for this, I don't know what you're doing here, but I'd like for this pressure to stop on my head.
He seems to become more rigid in his stance. He had softened, but he firms up a little and he says, I can't do that. I'm not sure you're not a threat yet. I need to be convinced that you're not a threat. And when I do, I can let you go. And not just out of this room, but you'll be free to roam where you please.
She kind of like pauses and sits quietly for a moment and tries to think. She looks like she's kind of strenuating herself, trying to come up with an answer. She just says, "Can I have some water?"
He nods and he returns to the desk, sitting down. And from nowhere, he produces a small clay jug and a what appears to be a pewter. I can't think of the name, like a flask or a, anyways, like a something that you can drink. Pewter glass.
Oh.
Not a pitcher, but like a receptacle. Anyways, he has a effectively like a pitcher of water in a glass, and he pours you a glass of water, and he sits back in his chair, and he waits.
She like slowly gets up and kind of in an exaggerated, like almost painful way, and then moves her way to the table and graciously drinks the water.
After you finished drinking water, man says, I hope that water has refreshed your memory enough. Do you know anything about him, who he's associated with, works for, whom he might be affiliated with?
I believe he mentioned some sort of trading corporation. I can't recall the name.
A trading corporation.
Made it sound like a big deal.
Oh. Well, that does make sense. And how how did this trading corporation catch your interest? How did they know that you wanted to come here and learn from us, or learn our ways?
I just would travel around and do odd jobs here and there, and my magical abilities would be able to help some people. Usually, well, I guess they're more destructive than they are helpful in nature, but a lot of people need help with that. Whether it's
What kind of odd jobs do you do?
protecting farmsteads, or I read a lot, so I've quite a bit of knowledge. I'm trying to learn more about my abilities and how to, I guess, control them better. So I've extensive, well, when I can, I have extensive studying in whatever institutes I can come across, and I guess a lot of people have need of that knowledge. I was recently around Vales, but fled due to the orc invasion that was coming around.
At this information, the man nods and says, "Ah, yes, the orcs. Well, I think I have all the information I need. I'll be leaving." And he takes all of his stuff, packs everything up nicely, and takes his glass of water and his pitcher and everything, and he leaves nothing else behind. And he stands up and yeah, so you're left alone again.
Doop.
Doop. That's cool. That's nice information. Cool. So you came from Vales with the orc invasion. You like helping people using your magic, defending farmsteads, so committing acts of violence, and also you're very smart.
Yeah. I like to stab things.
Cool. All right. Well, we gave that information to a security official interrogating you to find out how much of a risk you are. So we'll add that down to the fucking notes.
Ever since she was smart in conversation.
I know. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to highlight exactly how that information is potentially going to be interpreted. Maybe you might be lucky and they'll say, "Oh yeah, very innocent," but maybe you might be fucked. Carlos, have you figured out a plan yet? If not, I'm actually just going to jump ahead with Khutula still because we groovy.
Wouldn't really call it a plan, but yeah, I've decided what I'm gonna do.
That's good enough. Let's jump into it.
Alright. So, Carlos was, at this point, pretty tired of running from them, and also, they're not aware that he is the one that's been leading them on the chase. He feels like he'd have a better chance of explaining what he's doing there, or giving some kind of excuse if he just cooperated. So he's gonna be like, "Alright, you're not gonna, like, take my stuff, are you? Like, can I just go, am I just gonna sit in this room and have someone talk to me?"
The guard tells you, well, we'll have to remove any weapons from your person for safety of us. But yeah, you're just going to be detained. They'll find out who you are, see whether or not you're a risk to the facility or a risk to the kingdom security. And if everything's okay, then you'll be released quite quickly. But you're not supposed to be here, and we're in a lockdown. This is you're gonna have to come with us. We need to know who you are.
Oh, lead the way, my good man.
Run, Carlos.
So you're apprehended. You're not taken overly roughly or anything, but you are searched. He calls down to the buddy at the edge of the hall, and he calls down to someone else. The guy runs over, and the two of them they take their time. They find any weapons that you haven't made an attempt to hide. If you'd like to make an attempt to hide any weapons on you, you can roll sleight of hand.
Yeah, hold on, give me a second.
But that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hide two things. Dagger
Okay.
and the
You're gonna have to
thieves'
roll
tools.
for each individually.
Alright, let's see. So I will roll for the thieves' tools first. Okay, so sleight of hand. That will be a 23.
Okay, so do the knife as well. I'll just do the pat down, so it'll be one roll.
Okay, so 6. For the dagger, that would be 27. Wait, no, sorry, 25.
25. And what was the thieves' tools again?
I think it was 23.
Okay, well, he doesn't fucking find them. So you have access to dagger and thieves' tools. All of your other weapons are confiscated for now.
All right.
Okay, about this time, roughly the same time, and just for the fun of it, as you're being like you're being led down the hall. You know where Khutula has been captured. She was, like I said, sort of bottom left on the map that I gave. You are led not to the one next to her, but the third one up. So you're second from the top on the left.
Okay, so there's one cell between us.
As they're turning you to put you into the cell, you hear a commotion and you see Anton being led up the hallway, and he is pushed into the basically the cell on the right side that's between you and Khutula. So there's a cell between you and Khutula. Its opposite is where Anton's been pushed.
Okay, so we're kind of like
just at the
triangle.
time. Yeah, and just at the same time as you like recognize him, you get put into the cell before you have an opportunity to really say anything other than like, ah!
Hopefully, they didn't shove me. Rude.
Well, I mean, like they put you in there. They didn't like.
I've been cooperating.
Level of prisoner handling. Yeah, you've been cooperating, but at the same time, they're making sure that you're cooperating 100%. They're leading you in the cooperation at this point, in positive control, and you're letting them. But they're also making sure that you're going along with what they do, just in case at any point in time you resist. They're ready, because people might try and do stupid things at any time, so they put you in that cell, and just as you're getting into the cell, you see fucking led away. So Carlos, you're going to be held there for a little while. Anton, you're getting strip searched.
Oh. Well. Okay.
So you lose your armor, you lose everything, and you are naked in a cell.
Oh, wait, they took his clothes too?
They took everything off him. They fucking searched.
God damn.
That's what happens when you charge the fucking gates. He got paralyzed, he lost everything, and now he lost his armor. So your splint armor has been removed from you. All of
Might at
your
least
fucking,
get
like whatever tunic and
jumpsuit
pants you
or
have has
fucking...
been. No, you are buck ass nude, my friend.
Oh god damn.
And not only that, but there are 2 cavaliers fully armored and ready to go in the cell. One of them is recording like your fucking body. Essentially. Like they're writing now, okay, he's got a fucking scar across the bicep, kind of shit like that. Like he's listing down fucking details. Like as he's coming in close, like buddy's ready to fucking go just in case he do something stupid. He doesn't have a weapon, but you can definitely tell that he's like prepped. And the guy comes in and he like takes his thumb. Yeah.
Are the can I visually see that the other 2 are okay? They're still alive.
No, you can't see shit.
Okay.
You were
Am I-
able to like catch eyes on Carlos just at the same time as he was shut in. Like you guys are able to visually recognize each other as being,
Well,
hey, we're in the
that's-
same place.
That's
Into the cell.
that's good news to at least see that possibly somebody is still alive. So
Yeah, but you have no idea that Khutula is also in this specific cell block. I just want to point that out. So yeah,
DM,
you get done. You are being treated like an
DM, I am currently like
Yeah.
undressed completely. I'm gonna worry about the rest of that here in a minute. Okay.
Okay,
One thing
well,
at
I'm
a
just going to
time.
proceed, and I'm going to proceed with exactly what happens to you at any point you want to try and respond. You let me know, but it's a process, and not they're not really waiting for you to like consent. Essentially, nothing invasive, but they're effectively like they got the full picture of you, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
And I'm talking
you're
about like a
shame,
trip to the
Anton.
vet kind of thing. Like Buddy's fucking like hooked his thumb underneath the top gum of your fucking lip, in between your teeth and the lip, and he's like pulling it up and checking to make sure there's nothing in there. And then he grabs his fucking like he opens your mouth and he inserts his knuckles vertically so that you cannot bite his hand. And he takes his fingers and he like checks your like under your tongue and in your shit. He fucking puts his fingers in your mouth and makes sure that you're not cheeking anything. And then after that, they fucking like they check it all.
Oh.
Not the up the bum thing, because that's weird. But they like no, it's not. They don't do that. That's weird. But like they also register like any like his
Oh
hair
my
color, his
God.
fucking eye color, like Anton's height, his weight. They make comments about his manhood. They make you feel like
Oh
a
my
fucking animal.
Vincenzo was
And
right.
then after that, you are like the guy who's recording everything withdraws, and fucking Buddy who's posted up and ready to go. He's watching you, and the note maker guy bangs on the door. Somebody opens the door and passes a set of like linen clothes, and then he puts it on the table that's in front of you, and then they withdraw from the cell.
Okay. My God. All right.
Poor Anton.
Khutula.
Hi.
This is where the fun begins. So we're going by random Nene time because A, we started early in the morning and I could fuck with hours, and B, Vinshenzo and Nephis and I think Isaac are waiting for the party to start. So this is good. So Khutula, the two guys who arrested you and chased off Carlos, they come in together. There's no notes, there's no special procedure, there's no nothing. And the two of them come up and they say, what dealings do you have with Prince?
Uh-oh.
What?
Alphonse repeats, what dealings do you have with Prince? This is a time for truth and this might save your life.
I haven't made any dealings with the prince. What?
Well,
What do you mean by the prince?
the Crown Prince Frederick the Lesser.
Is he part of this region?
The second one sort of deadpan looks at you for a lingering silence. Alphonse is not quite as aggressive in his gaze, but the second one looks at you quite a while. Says, she's not one of them. Probably just a random occurrence. The prince told us to look out for it, but it's not one of hers. Just leave him be, figure it out later. And then he turns to go.
He just looks confused.
Alphonse lingers, and as the second staff cavalier leaves, he appears to takes some time adjusting his cloak or doing something. And as soon as the door closes, the Cavalier says, "I work for the prince. I need to know now, are you one of the mercenaries he hired?"
You know Vinshenzo and Carlos?
Seeker, did Vinshenzo give Carlos his name as well?
I thought Carlos and Vin were
Vin
there.
introduced himself and
They were
Carlos
there.
to the prince by name.
Okay. So the guard nods and says, "All right. So you're someone I'm supposed to be looking out for. I don't know how you managed to get yourself into this mess, but I can only get you out."
She nods quietly.
Okay. And he says, "You're going to have to trust. You're going to have to let me do my job. But please understand this. And I know it's difficult to trust, especially after I've treated you this way. But please understand that I'm going to do my job, and by that, you will be free very quickly. Do you understand me?"
She nods.
Okay. And he moves to the door and he raps on it twice. And two cavaliers, fully armored, come in with their long swords, like with hands on the swords and everything. And he says, he tells the guards, "This is the one. We're gonna take her." And they move and they pick you up. You can resist if you like. I'm going to say that. But their intention, if you choose not to resist, is literally one on either side, and they're just hooking their fucking arm. They're like hooking their arms underneath your armpits and just hoisting you up. I think you're on the floor at this point. If not, you're in a chair, in which case they're getting you out of the chair. So if you intend to do something, please let me know. But that's the process they're going to, the thing they're going to try and do.
She kind of startles, but just kind of lets it happen. She doesn't really know what else to do.
Okay, so you get picked up, you get put on your feet, and you get taken under a very firm, like, "We got your upper arms, you ain't going anywhere, we're steering you." And Alphonse is in front, and these two guys are behind, and you're fairly certain you can feel like sixth sense tingly neck feeling that someone's behind the two of them, sort of like a diamond formation with you in the middle. And they wind through 800 million of the different artery corridors, eventually leading up to the top, where you remember that you and Carlos had ended. And you pass four guards, or four of the cavaliers, a captain five cavaliers, the captain, and a wizard who are watching the front entrance. They march you out of the front entrance into the main street, up into the castle courtyard, and into one of the blockhouses, which is a place where it is reserved for people who are visiting nobility.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in time are you like really able to look around, because as soon as you get into the outside world, they fucking tighten right up, and you're now like not VIP escort, but you are being manhandled up into the castle area. And you are left there with one of the escorting cavaliers standing on the inside of the blockhouse, sort of like keeping an eye on. And Alphonse tells you, "In time I will return. Please don't leave for now, but you will be able to leave very soon."
She nods and kind of goes to say something, but it just kind of like dies in her throat.
Well, he sees this, and he recognizes that Khutula just fucking gulped down some words, and he lingering shortly for about a minute, staring right into her eyes, whether or not she meets his or not, but he just fucking like looks at her the whole time, and then just turns around and leaves. So you're now hanging out in a blockhouse The blockhouse is effectively like a 2-story apartment made out of nice bricks. So there's like a fireplace and stuff like that. There's an upper floor that is made out of wood, and it's got a little cot and everything, and you got it's a nice little spot. But you are now in the inner walls of the castle, hanging out of this blockhouse. And there's a cavalier who's watching. He doesn't make any move. He doesn't sit down. He doesn't do nothing. He just stands there with his hand on the pommel of his sword and his fucking quick draw stance. And he doesn't look at you. He's not paying attention to you, but he's sort of paying attention to whatever's going on outside. So you're left alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, Khutula is safe. Wow. Fuck yeah. Carlos! A man comes into your cell.
First,
And he sits down. Yep.
did either me or Anton see Khutula leave?
Yeah.
No. This was after you guys got put in. Anton got processed. You've been waiting, and by the time Anton was finishing processing, Khutula had then been spirited away. So you've been waiting for about 45 minutes.
I would have been
were-
playing with my cards.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like playing like solitaire
put
or something
in-
else.
And you have two cavaliers. These guys aren't staff. They're just regular armored cavaliers. And these staff in, and they look you over, and the first one, I will point out that because you've listened to the whole shtick about how they operate, these guys aren't like that. They come in, they maintain that professional fighter stance, but they're very obviously not one of the interrogators, like the interrogator who handled Khutula. This is not that. They keep you at a distance. They put you in some level of like scrutiny the whole time, but they converse with each other sort of next to the door. They don't come close to you. They don't. You have very high passive perception. It's a quiet room and sound travels, so you can hear them. It's not hard. And they're discussing the circumstances of your capture. And they basically, one guy fills the other guy in, and the other guy's looking at you the whole time. Both the guys are looking at you the whole time. One of them's talking to the other, and the other one's just fucking staring at you. Same thing, like directly into the eyes. Very alpha male dominant. And after a period of time, the man who is listening to his comrade nods his head, and he disappears out the door. The door opens for him, and the first man stays in there. He says nothing to you.
Oh,
If you would like to address him, you can. If you don't, you're going to be waiting about a half hour. So this is the time it takes. If you'd like to do anything in between, that's the forecast for you if you'd like to remain silent.
there's one thing Carlos would have done. I forgot to mention, like, while he was waiting for anyone to show up, he would have inspected the door. Is there any kind of mechanical lock on it, or is it just solid?
There's no way to open it from the inside that you can
Gotcha.
tell. It is effectively like a solid piece of metal. The hinges are on the outside, and there is no door handle, and there is no real easily definable evidence of where the door handle was. The only real feature that you can tell, aside from like the seam of the door itself, is that little vertical window.
All right. So is this guy like just like staring me in the eye the entire time he's waiting?
For the full half hour, this isn't staring in the eye guy. This is like telling a story guy.
Oh, is this
And
the guy
he's
that put me in the cell to
This
begin
is
with?
not a guy you know.
Oh.
They all have helmets, so you can't tell.
Ah, right.
Yeah, these aren't staff members. Remember, staff members have no helmets. The captains have plumed helmets, and the cavaliers they're effectively like clone troopers, except they don't look like clone troopers, but they all have fairly identical armor. So you can't tell. You're not quite sure. If you'd like to try and roll like an insight or a perception or something, you can, but just looking at him, like examining him as a human being standing there, You can't really see anything special about him that sticks out.
All right.
But
Well,
for
so-
half an hour without any interruption, he's going to be just kind of present.
All right. So after about 5 minutes, Carlos would tire of the silence. Well, sir, is something I can do for you, or are we just waiting at this point?
We're waiting for an evaluation.
I see. Well, while we're waiting, would you care to play some cards with me? I have a full set.
This is not a time for games.
Well, if we're going to be waiting around, I mean, what's the difference?
He rests his hand again from his usual fighter stance. His hand drifts down from the pommel to the cross guard, and his fingers start sort of jangling the sword up a little bit, and in his right hand sort of flexes. It's very much a gesture of intimidation, like the fuck off, I'm in charge kind of stance. He's visually reminding you who's the boss here.
Carlos would kind of like roll his eyes and be like, come on, there's no need for this posturing. I know that I'm trapped in here and there's no way to get out. I'm just trying to pass the time. Come, I'll even deal. All you have to do is play your hand.
Pass the time by yourself. I'm not here for games.
As you wish. Carlos would take up his cards and he'd start doing just sleight of hand tricks with his cards, kind of like in front of the guard to show him like what he can do, just being bored.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to pass you about half an hour, and I'm aware of the time for anybody who's paying it. This is my cliffhanger. I know it's been a slow session, but this is the juicy cliffhanger. We got some progress. So coming in from the door after about a half an hour of you effectively giving this guy a free show, the door opens and in comes a cavalier with the same markings of a veteran, but instead of a red plumed helmet, he has a a helmet with black plumage instead of red plumage. And there is a man dressed in quite elegant robes. And his cloak, which is a very lovely sort of a sky ice blue kind of thing. It's quite beautiful. You can see not only the coat of arms for the kingdom of Arillis itself, but you can see a claw that you recognize just from general lore as being associated with the Council of, the High Office Council of the. And you hear quite easily that the man in the black helmet says, "My master Morin, and this is one of them." And Morin, he comes close. I want to know exactly how close Carlos will allow somebody to get to him before I describe exactly what happens.
Can
Because
Anton
the guy's
hear
gonna
this?
come right up to you. No, you're in a cell on the other side. You're fucking. You just got processed.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Well, sorry, you didn't just got processed, but you're that is.
You're
the
telling me I'm gonna
experience
need a
that is-
minute.
You're now. You're alone with linen clothes in a room after somebody was inspecting the inside of your mouth and taking mental images of your butthole. and
What are they
telling
gonna
you
do with
exactly how
that?
misshapen your testicles are and how your tiny little fucking lima bean pee will never please a woman and that have
Okay,
big flabby
okay,
titties and your
please-
fucking the hair
please
on your arms makes
continue
you
on.
look like an orangutan. Okay, because that's the experience that Anton has had for 45 minutes of somebody just being critical of every centimeter of his body. That's
Oh
what
my
Anton has
God.
experienced. Oh yeah, they don't like you.
That's
wonder why.
fucking hilarious. It's the mask. They
yeah,
don't.
so
That's the reason.
Did they try to take off
well,
the
yeah.
mask? How did that go?
100%. Yeah, it didn't work. How
It
would
doesn't
they,
come off his face.
Xane, Anton doesn't fucking know, because every single thing that happened to Anton as soon as he got in that cell and started getting searched was essentially like a verbal insult on him and everything that they're basically just sitting there.
Angry
You know
at
when
me.
you're like working on a crap car and you're just talking about how shit the car is? I can't think of any other analogy, but you should look at this piece of garbage. This fucking garbage piece of shit. Holy fuck, what's under the hood? Look at that leaky fucking engine. Like they're just what the fuck? Why is his mask glued on? What a weirdo. Anything like that. I can't fucking take it off. Well, whatever, there's nothing wrong with it. And they like hook your fucking fingers inside the everything. Like, oh yeah, they're treating you like a piece of meat.
Okay.
Except you have a decorative little mask ribbon on you, but oh yeah. Which actually, to think about it, Anton butt naked with a death mask on is just fucking hilarious. Anyways, so Carlos, this man is going to come close to you.
Carlos
He's going
would
to come
probably
intimately close to you.
probably let him get to within like a foot of him before he started like trying to lean away and such, and trying to like keep his distance, because like that's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
Is it though?
He's
Yeah.
treating you like cattle. So he's coming over and he's examining you not as a person, but as a thing to be looked at. If you're sitting in a chair or standing, this is kind of visually important.
He'd
You
be
do have a desk.
sitting
and two
because he
chairs.
would have been like playing cards and stuff on the desk.
That's true. Okay, is he gonna make an attempt to get up if the guy gets way too close?
Yeah, if the guy like keeps like pushing his face towards him, and Carlos has no more
He's
room
not
to,
getting
like,
his face
lean.
in and like putting his nose up to you to give you butterfly kisses, but he's gonna touch you with his hand.
kind of like swat him away a little, like his hand away, like what are you doing, kind of thing. Like, what are you? Don't touch me.
Okay. Yeah.
It wouldn't
So
be like
yeah. So this happens, and he like withdraws his hand and kind of one of those. Oh, okay. And looks at the guard in black. This is the one. We'll use him.
hold on.
yeah.
Use me for what?
Oh, right. I forgot. And he's gonna fucking slap you in the back of the head, and you feel an electrical surge a surge of electricity before you pass the fuck out. And I'm
Ouch.
doing this for narrative purpose, because narrative purposes. Yeah.
I use uncanny dodge.
we're gonna
to, like,
leave
get
it there.
half-slapped.
Only get half slapped, half narratively fucked. So, I will reveal some things because it matters. Khutula, I'm going to reveal some things about your past.
Oh no.
And I'm not gonna link links, but I'm just gonna reveal one or two things because there's some stuff that's really cool. It'll give you an insight, because I'm trying not to. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm pushing you down a very specific path. There's some things that I'm using as a basis that I feel like as players would be good to know. But if you weren't aware, Khutula's upbringing, if it's not written anywhere in the TTS sort of facilities that we have, she was raised as like under a cult, a very fucking violent cult. And she managed to escape. And that cult likes to do experiments on things. So that's one of her that's her big backdrop thing. Similar to Anton and having the army, and Isaac being from the middle of nowhere, and Carlos being a roguish thief, she was genetically like fucked around with and raised by a cult. If I remember correctly, if that's not accurate, then
It was.
yeah.
I think I sent you like my whole like backstory and my original character.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it. I'm sort of paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just one of the things that, as players, that is something that is part of her backstory that is not really been touched on or overly revealed yet, except for one or two instances that I think had to do with the swordsman that you guys found at the chaotic things.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's thing. So some more people might get more details later, but we're moving into this chapter. So there's there's no over railroading, but there's a specific enemy in this area that you'll be coming in with. As my spoiler might reveal too much, I'm not going to say more than that. This is where we're moving into. So it's not. You guys didn't have to go to the Wizards College. You guys didn't have to do any of these things, but you kind of stepped up some things that were going to happen anyway. That were happening behind the scenes. Oh, go. That cast. Anyways, I know it was a lot slower of a session. I'm trying to build a better picture because we didn't really. Last session was fairly rough. It was about 220 grit sandpaper rough. So I would try to polish up the whole thing a little bit more and give you guys more room to maneuver, but also try and really portray exactly how. Yeah. The Cavaliers are not to be fucked with. Specifically them.
Anton's gonna need a minute.
Yeah. Anton, you're a prisoner of war.
Yeah, I figured.
You're being treated as the enemy. You decided to attempt to break into a facility after being given multiple opportunities to cease and desist. You're being treated as a POW. Khutula somehow managed to get in touch with or describe her story enough that somebody raised a flag to the prince, and the prince was like, yeah, that's one of ours. So you were in the prince's apartment in the castle.
Wow.
And yeah. Vinshenzo, as you're waking up and done your thing, you guys are going to be told, like, this is something that does happen. You are told by someone who comes in off the street identifying themselves as working for the prince, saying that they found one of your colleagues, they're safe, and this is where they are. So you're aware that Khutula is safe and that she is at the blockhouse of the prince's apartment.
Does he say? Oh, I'm sorry for the fucking reaper.
That's okay.
Does he say who it is, that it's Khutula, or does he just say one of ours?
He starts with just a colleague, and then when you ask, he'll tell you it's Khutula, or he'll tell you specifically it's Khutula. He won't give you her last name, but he'll say it's Khutula, and he'll proceed to describe her quite vaguely. Accurately enough to get a general, like, to know who she is, but vaguely enough just to make sure that not a lot of detail is spoken, because he's trying to be, nice about it. Discreet. Yeah, that's the right word.
Seen, we're missing 2 others. Have you seen them by chance?
Vin would pretend to not know who Khutula is.
Oh my god.
That's okay.
She's dead to him.
Nephis, the guy tells you that they have 2 other prisoners being held at the college. He says one of them's been taken away, he's not sure where, and the other one is being held as an enemy of the state. But he's not sure who they are.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Sorry, he tells that to Nephis. He tells that to whoever the fuck asked. Somebody asked. It was Nephis.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, before he leaves, he kind of he turns to walk away, and then he turns back quickly, and he looks at Nephis, and is like, he's got a look of
Nephis drinks from his
like concern, disdain, that level of worry, and he says, please do be careful, you and your colleagues, where this is a delicate situation and you're being indelicate. And then he fucks off before if you want to respond, but he just tries to beeline it. He's basically like, please try to be more careful.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
And then he fucks off. And he never gave his name, and he never gave anything other than the fact that he works for the prince. So he did everything he can to make sure that you guys don't know who he is. Just so you're aware. So it's just a guy.
I would do everything to do that as well.
Yep, that's fair.
As much as a dark elf could do,
Yeah, as a very fancy dark elf.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Nephis
yeah,
slaps
that's
his
the
hands
session.
together.
That's Oh, sorry. Sorry, Nephis.
No,
No,
it's okay.
I
can save it
sorry,
for
I-
next session.
No, do it now. Do it now. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, fuck. All right. Sorry. Fell off my roll. It's okay. I'll save it for next session.
Okay. So I'm tried to set the stage as much as possible before the next session so that we can go right into like super party and also super everything else. So this was all potatoes, but I've tried to keep it all potatoes so that next session we're just going to go straight into. So Isaac, you'll have a chance to do a lot more. We're going to you'll be in the action phase of the action plan. For all of you guys, it'll be the ball, it'll be the everything, and Carlos is gonna have a good time, and Anton's gonna probably eat a cock meat sandwich, and that's the way it is. He's gonna go to medieval Guantanamo Bay.
Isaac will be the belle of the ball.
I've suffered worse from the cock in
his
it.
dress.
Anton has done everything in his power to avoid these balls.
Fuck.
These balls.
No, it's rolling towards. No.
Uh-oh.
You
Jules
motherfucker.
gonna get hit by the balls. Oh.
It was just rolling towards the fucking cell. Like, what the fuck?
Within
Oh. Within cells. What's the other one that it is? Is cells within cells, and then what's it that they have to repeat to each other? It's like fucking obsolete, no, incomplete, no.
At least I'm safe
Shit.
inside my
A
mind.
tall white fountain played.
Oh, it's such a good fucking movie.
cells.
Within cells.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
You're not
I was
sorry.
drinking with Nephis. We were chatting.
Deadly. So yeah, like I said, I'm sorry for the softer session. Well, I'm not sorry about this. I know this was a softer session today, but we'll be getting right into the big juicy meaty portion of
Are we going next
it
Monday?
next session. I am available the following Monday. Yes. So if nobody else has any issues for the 13th of February, well, fuck it. I'm actually free on Thursday too. I'm also free on
2 sessions
Friday
this
and
week.
Wednesday.
No, let's just keep it to
Oh
Monday.
wait, you said the 14th and after was better, right? We could do Tuesday.
So the 14th is the hard cutoff date for snowmaking. So I think the 14th is either like we're shutting down for good, or we're shutting down and then never opening up again. Yeah, lucky.
Wait,
And
never
because it's
opening up again?
Valentine's Day, I'd like to try and for the rest of the season because of budget. So no matter how much we have left to produce, we're not making snow past the 14th. And the only thing I have left to do is make a snow park, and it's like me and one other guy who are doing it for 12 hours straight. So it's a lot of fun, but we're not
Okay.
because it's so slow and because the weather's crap. Yeah, we're just doing a lot of so. We can do it on the 13th, but as well this week I work Tuesday, then I work Saturday and Sunday. So like I have this week off. We need to do it earlier than Monday.
Let's do
If we want to do both, like I'm happy doing more than one session a week. I am. I don't want to make it a super regular thing, but because we're getting into like juicy mission quest super territory. Well, I don't want you guys to
Why
get
are you
burned
guys
out
doing
either,
that?
right? Like that's
Don't
a
make
lot
us
of
wait a
duty.
week,
I don't want to.
Anton.
Crazy.
Dude, I have classes and
I
shit.
don't want to make you
remember?
guys.
You have classes on Thursday?
Dude, I'm not burnt out. Let's
Accounting.
go.
I mean, it's online, but it would have to be in the. I mean, it would have to be an evening. I'd have to see what I could do.
What?
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 We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it
Like,
out later.
I'll
so we don't have
leave it to the
figure it out
players to
now.
decide. That's my availability, and I'd be happy to run more.
No.
Like, if we want to do one this Thursday and get through it, cool. If you don't want to, cool. But I'll leave that up to you guys to decide.
Well, it just sounds like we should do it tomorrow if we're gonna do it.
I can't do that right now.
Oh, well.
I work 12 hours tomorrow.
I can't do
I
that.
just have the rest of the
What
week
about
off.
Wednesday?
Completely
Wednesday I
off
have off.
limits for me.
Friday.
Friday I have off.
Friday's doable.
Should we do Friday?
Friday.
I could do Friday.
I could do Tuesday. I could do Wednesday.
I could provide
Chill has
food.
mic problems, so I'd like to very specifically hear what Chill has to type. I guess see what Chill has to type, because he can't just interrupt us all like I can.
I could do Friday.
It says I can. Good.
You can do Friday. Shall we set it in stone?
I'm rambunctious.
I think it's better
Thursday
to
is
set
probably the only one I can't. Okay.
set it in stone while we're all still here, because otherwise people just don't respond
Yes.
in the channel. Is what I was saying.
Khutula, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna move to you arbitrarily.
Bitch.
Like for a second day this week?
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
What do
Would
you
like
think we've
to
been
would
talking
you like to
about?
play on Friday this week?
Let me check my work schedule, make sure I'm not closing. I don't think I am, but I'm down for it.
Ooh.
Okay. If you are free, cool. Anton, yes or no, Friday?
I can probably do Friday, yeah.
Okay. We'll say yes, but I also understand that Khutula, you have to check your schedule, and Anton, you're saying probably. So we'll say yes, but if you guys don't have it, then that's just the way it is, and that's cool.
What do
'Cause
you
I'll
mean
have everything. I'll
probably?
have everything
What
ready.
else are
Whether
you
we're doing
doing?
I just checked my schedule just now, so I'm good.
Hell yeah.
Anton, are you good?
You're good? Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
so we'll go
I'm
with
talking
Friday.
to
We'll go with
Anton.
Friday as the next the next
Okay.
day. If anybody has a
Yes.
problem during the week that comes up or anything, please just let me know, and we'll just, then it just means we'll do it on Monday instead, which is cool.
Anton.
But we'll aim to
Motherfucker,
meet
I'm checking
this
my
upcoming
goddamn
Friday.
schedule. Aw. Piece of shit.
7 stab wounds.
He's got to check his planner.
I'm the one asking questions.
I don't know how many stab wounds there was in that.
Okay, yes, Friday's fine. Go. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Friday's
I will
fine.
have.
Go.
So
Yes.
I will write this down. We're gonna start not at the ball time. We'll start in like the late afternoon to about, we'll say, 2 hours to prepare so we'll do this in IC if you want, but I just want to give the opportunity for you guys to meet up. Well, everybody obviously except for Anton and Carlos, because they're fucking butt
And
buddies in prison.
Khutula.
But everybody else, you have a chance to meet up and coordinate in the time you have before the ball starts.
Oh my god.
What the
I
hell?
met up with everyone who's able to be met up with. We're in the tavern.
Khutula's not. I'm trying to give you a window for being like, hey, this is what we need to get ready. We're going. Sorry. Fuck. I'm trying to be.
Din is
trying to be a good
marching
boy.
to the castle at the time of the
As we
party, no
speak.
matter how many people are fucking alive, dead, or in prison.
Horrifying to look at. Please make it stop.
Really, it really is. Yeah.
This is giving me a headache. Can you get rid of the blockmonger?
Oh my god, everything's the blockmonger.
What happened?
Oh god damn.
Who's doing this?
Oh no.
Alright,
Who
that's
got
enough.
the
I
blockmonger?
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce.
Aw.
Can't kill the blockmonger.
Thank you
Ugh.
for the session.
Thank you. I'm out.
I will
Good
see you all
night.
Friday.
Thanks for watching.